Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Breakfast with Roger and Friends. Thank you, Cora. Good job as always. It's a Tuesday, the 10th day of March, and, I don't know about you, but it appears if you listen to local TV weather people, the world is coming to an end tonight and tomorrow. And yet, when I look at the National Weather Bureau forecast, there's not that panic or hysteria. You know, they're talking about hail, 4 feet of snow. The river is going to overflow and flood the, what was the name of the restaurant along the riverfront?
River Station.
River Station is going to be flooded. The rocket won't be able to leave the downtown area for Chicago, and all hell's breaking loose.
Well, I put my faith in Kyle, and he said we could definitely see hail. We could see some tornadic activity. Remember, he did say, be sure you have a safe place
I
to
thought
go.
the tornado, though, he said was north or south. That I didn't think that he was warning us, was he?
No, yeah, he said
He
have
did?
a
Okay.
safe place to
Right.
go.
Well, I never listened to him, so
Obviously.
so I don't know what he had to say. Sam Lillie's here, as well as Terry Chamberlain. Good morning, people.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
You know, I did, and you did the right thing too, Terry. He's bundled up like he's expecting 6 feet of snow. Sam
but he's
is.
in layers, so he could
Yeah,
take
he's
off
in
the weather
layers,
if it gets
yeah.
too hot. He did smart.
But you and I, sleeveless, and it was a good decision because when I walked into the building is very warm, and usually it's very cold, or cooler than what it is right now. So I think they shut off the AC.
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah.
So, well, how you doing, Sammy?
I'm doing fine.
You know, I keep seeing these commercials about Medicare and enrolling in this and enrolling in that, and I thought it was all over, but it's not over, is it?
Well, not quite.
Well, what's going on?
Well, the open enrollment or annual enrollment that went away December 7th, right? October 15th to December 7th, and then starting up January 1st, if you currently have a Medicare Advantage plan, not a supplement, but an Advantage plan, you can rewrite it to another company from January 1st to March 30th, 31st, whatever.
31st? All right,
31st.
Yeah, we'll take 31st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're still going to get phone calls, but the one thing people
You
need.
said you're not supposed to get phone
You're
calls.
not at all. You cannot be solicited for.
But I'm lonely. I want to hear from people.
Well,
so I can hang up on
people
it.
don't like. Yeah, people don't like it when I answer the phone either. I give them
3 seconds, don't
I
you?
give them heck.
Do you? Once in a while I do that, but rare. If you don't hear any breathing when you answer the phone, I answer usually. I used to say yes. Well, you don't want to say that anymore. So I'll answer, this is Roger, and if you hear nothing other than hang up. That's what I do.
Well, the phone calls start out. It's a robocall. It's a computer's dialing your phone number, and if you hear a bloop like that to start the call, that's the phone line connecting.
Really?
Because you pick the receiver up, the computer will then
say, we got a live one.
We got a live one, and
Yeah.
it's a computer bleep or whatever the bleep it is.
Well, it's a bleeping phone call is what it is.
Yeah, and it just irritates the heck out of me. And when I start to question them, they always say, well, here's a supervisor or somebody that's higher up than the recording, and then I always ask them, what's your producer number? Everybody's got a producer number.
Oh, really?
Oh, I'm not a producer, and I said, well, you don't have the right to call me because I haven't given you permission, one, and two, you don't have a license to sell the product you're trying to sell.
That's neat.
Yeah.
So what's their response? They hang up on you?
They just hang up. Yeah.
I've had that. I will tell you, you have to be careful because we have a friend on this program who decided to be kind of cute and answered with a heavy accent. Hello, oh yes, oh how are you? And the person said, Kathy, this is Reverend Wilson from Indiana. And she had to dig herself out of a hole. And I happened to be there at the time.
Well, when I started my office at Proctor, I had an office there for about 10 years, 12 years, and that's all we did was make phone calls. And then we got the don't make phone calls anymore, and so that law's been out there for. I've been away from Proctor now since 2008, so however many years that is, and
that's a long time.
Yeah, a long time, and so it's been the law for that long at least, because we were stopped from making phone calls. I mean, just by the law, nobody told us to stop, but.
Yeah, but wasn't there a time when if you, we were told if you dial a certain number and told them I don't want any robo or marketing calls.
Oh, the do not call registry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that.
Was that a hoax?
Yeah.
It worked.
There's no way to police it.
Yeah.
You know, the phone call's over in 30 seconds or a minute, and then you got something else to do. You don't have time to call the FBI or the
or the Secret Service.
Service, but.
Well,
yeah.
they still do it. I'm amazed at the number of spam calls that some people get. I get a few, but not many because they know I don't have any money. But there are people that will get 10 to 12 spam calls a day. And
yeah.
I can't. How do you handle them? Well, just hang up. Because I don't know about your phone, but mine says possible spam.
Yeah.
Don't the phones do that?
It's a potential spam. Yeah.
It's the most common birth name.
Yeah,
It's
spam.
Potential spam. Yeah.
Well, I remember when we had it Saturday nights at our house. Spam.
I got a software. I can't think.
Well, good.
No, it was issued by the cell company, and it capitalizes every letter of the name. And you can assume that that's 90% possibility that that's a spam call. And so, because I had one that said Internal Revenue Service. Well, we all know the Internal Revenue Service doesn't call you. They don't make outbound phone calls. And I've had that call. I've had calls from State Farm, which obviously I'm not a State Farm agent, so I don't answer it. But they come up, and I'm told that it's mostly deceased people that they're stealing the phone number
Oh, really?
of. So there's nobody to complain, you know. And anyway, if you hear that bleep, you know
I don't think I've ever heard the bleep.
I haven't either. I'll pick up. I don't. This is on Mom's phone at home. But I kept that number just because.
It's right before they start
we had it for years. I just pick it up. I don't say anything.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't say anything?
Nope, I don't say anything. And
well, that's interesting.
if I don't hear anything, I give it a few seconds, and then I hang up. And I was told that if I'm answering it, eventually it'll drop off because there's no I don't make a voice and no contact.
I've not heard that before.
And
That's
I have
not
to
a
say,
bad idea.
The phone calls have dropped. I won't say stopped, but when I used to be over there, it would ring sometimes 15, 20 times a day.
Oh,
and now it's maybe 4. So I
get them all
away.
the time, probably 10 or 15 of them a day. Most of them I have to answer because I'm in sales. You know, if Joe Smith calls and he's looking for insurance and I don't recognize the name Joe Smith, I'm not going to hang up on him. I'll wait for the bleep. When the bleep bleeps, then I'll just hang up.
Well, I remember when they got clever. They got clever when they started using the 309 code.
Oh, yeah.
In the beginning, they would have 800 or 886 or whatever, and then they realized that people aren't answering the phone because of the code, and then they started using 309. But usually you can tell by the numbers that come after it that they're not 309 area.
I think all the funeral directors are probably selling the phone number.
The phone numbers. Here's one you might like, for that matter. Well, we're kind of in the news, you might say, with the news. So let's make it official. Bring you the most comprehensive news in Peoria radio. All right. I know. I put my earphones on because I need to find out who's on mic and who isn't on mic. And as a result, the monitor drives Terry nuts.
Yes, yours are going wah, wah, wah. It's a little loud.
All right. Our loud news is brought to you this morning by Spoon River Home Health, making a difference in the lives of our clients, they say, since 1993, with a comprehensive range of home health services from skilled nursing to bathing and personal care. Your choice matters at Spoon River, and you can reach them today or any day for that matter, 24/7 at 309-245-0723. Well, as we mentioned at the outset, a lot of people are sending out warning signals, but the National Weather Bureau is taking a low approach today, partly sunny and warm with a high of 76. Look for showers and thunder boomers after 5 this afternoon, and more of the same tonight. And that's it, according to the National Weather Bureau. The overnight low tonight, 45. Tomorrow, the rain continues, due to the winds gusting to 28 miles per hour. Falling afternoon temperatures tomorrow, reaching 43 degrees by 5 in the late afternoon. Skies clear tomorrow night with an overnight low of 29. Thursday, clouds increasing, a high of 50. Chance for rain Thursday night, a low of 42. And Friday, cloudy and 54. Saturday, cloudy and 58. And right now, we are at a comfortable 61 degrees. And let's get into the news. And the news this morning is brought to you by Steve Sink, certified business intermediary with PHX affiliates. Steve has been a business broker for over 16 years, actually more than 20 years, and has sold businesses large and small. He specializes in business valuations. He knows business, and you want to talk business, talk with Steve. And his phone number 309-696-8508. With our lead story, here's Terry.
A fire yesterday morning at a duplex in rural Washington has left one person dead. Firefighters from Spring Bay were alerted shortly after 5 a.m. to the fire, arriving too late to save an occupant trapped inside the burning structure at 108 Spring Creek Terrace. Firefighters from Washington and Germantown Hills assisted in putting out the blaze. Cause not yet determined.
Beacon Mayor Mary Burris won a lot of friends and supporters last night after she announced plans to construct a data center in the city have been dropped. Burris said the project would be an economic boost to the city with increased revenue and jobs, but too many people were opposed, and she heard from them.
The devastating attacks by the United States and Israeli military forces have left much of Tehran, Iran, with smoke-filled skies. Still, no sign of surrender from the country's leadership as its new leader went into hiding. President Trump says Iran was planning to build a nuclear site protected by granite as part of an effort to reconstitute its weapons program.
In this country, Wall Street bounced back yesterday with the Dow up 239 points, closing at 47,740. Crude oil, after reaching $119 per barrel, dropped to $85. There are projections oil could close as low as $50 a barrel by the end of the week, contradicting a Gas Buddy official claiming just the opposite. The sky is falling, according to Gas Buddy.
Oh, I've just watched the one here in the corner by us go up 40, went up by 40 cents.
Yeah, but you know, I got gas for $3.29 in Tremont. Well, they were selling it in Morton for $3.59. 30 cents difference a gallon.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty good. So I filled up.
I bet you did. Morton drivers were getting hosed by, here we go, by cases
I just said
yesterday.
that. I knew I heard it somewhere. I wrote it, Roger, you idiot.
Anyway, the Casey's with a pump price of $3.59 a gallon, while Casey's in Tremont, 6 miles away, was selling the same gas 30 cents lower at $3.29. There are stations in the Peoria area with gas as low as $2.99. Where?
Yeah, I'd like to know. Well, they said one of the Circle K might have been the one in the 2900 block of North Adams.
I guess I figure if you're brave enough to go down there. No.
Yeah, well, no, wait a minute. That's my old neighborhood. It's the North Valley, don't you know?
I do know. For the record, Illinois gas averaging $3.52 a gallon, higher than the national average of $3.48. The average price for gas in Iowa is $3.17 and $2.98 in Missouri.
I drive to Missouri to get a fill up, but when I get back to Peoria, I'd have to fill it up again.
Has continued to roll at CBS News. The latest to leave the liberal network is veteran reporter Scott McFarlane. The television news department has seen several high-profile liberal reporters getting pink slips. Shauna Thomas, executive producer of CBS Mornings, is gone after a meeting last week. CBS News producer Alicia Hasty is gone, along with 11 evening news staffers. Ratings for CBS Mornings have plummeted below 1.8 million daily viewers. The ratings currently affect WMBD-TV, a local CBS affiliate in the Peoria market.
And in other news, Peoria County Coroner Jamie Harwood reports the death at St. Francis Hospital of a 15-year-old baseball player from Christmas, Illinois. That's Chrisman, Illinois. The teenager was flown to Peoria after he was hit in the head by a baseball during high school practice last Friday. I was identified as Bentley Wolf, a sophomore at Chrisman High School. And speaking of school, officials on the board of the Peoria Public School District 150, they have agreed to allow Peoria police access to their security cameras. And what that means is that will help them identify the troublemakers in the school. And finally, a Ghostbusters actress, you may know her, Jennifer Runyon, has died at the age of 65. Does her name ring a bell at all?
No, it does not.
She lost a battle.
Her face would. If you look at
cancer.
She's in something that was a very popular show, and I read it the other day. If I come up with it, I'll tell you.
Yeah, let us know, yeah. 65 years of age. She developed cancer and didn't last very long. So condolences to those who know her and her family. In the meantime, let's get more news from WCBU.
From the WCBU newsroom, I'm Colleen Holden. One person is dead following an apartment fire early this morning northwest of Washington. Crews from the Spring Bay Fire Protection District responded to a duplex on Spring Creek Terrace around 5:30. They found flames showing from windows on the south apartment. Teams from the Germantown Hills and Washington Fire Departments assisted in battling the blaze. The victim's identity has not been released by the Tazewell County Coroner's Office. This incident is currently under investigation by the State Fire Marshal and the Woodford County Fire Investigation Team. The average price of gas in Peoria is up more than 40 cents a gallon this week as the war in Iran impacts the global oil market. The fuel cost tracking website GasBuddy reports an average price of $3.47. That figure spiked nearly 9 cents in just the past day. Drivers are now paying almost 22 cents more per gallon than last year and 52 cents more than in February. Peoria's average is on par with the national average and about 7 cents below the statewide average in Illinois. GasBuddy head petroleum analyst Patrick DeHaan says prices could rise another 20 to 50 cents per gallon this week. The Bradley men's basketball team must wait to see if its season will continue after the second-seeded Braves were knocked out of the Missouri Valley Conference tournament in the semifinals. Bradley coach Brian Wardle says falling short of an NCAA tournament bid is always tough to take. He says whether or not they get picked for another postseason tournament is out of their hands.
I hope we can continue to play with this team because we keep getting better, and these guys are enjoying it right now, and so I hope we might have another opportunity for that.
The Braves fell to eventual Arch Madness champion Northern Iowa in Saturday's semifinals. Wardle says this year's young team grew a lot throughout the season, and he hopes they get an opportunity to keep playing. And Illinois lawmakers are looking to further regulate alternative retail energy suppliers. Capital News Illinois reports one proposal would tie the rates they can charge for energy to what utility companies can charge. Consumer advocates say retail suppliers can often be predatory in nature, locking consumers into prices that are much higher than what the utility charges. Another bill seeks to prohibit electric utilities from charging consumers for expenses related to utilities advertising, insurance, legal cost, and trade association dues. I'm Colleen Holden.
All right, Colleen, thank you kindly. Now time for sports. Sam Lillie is here sitting in for the rehabbing Mike Olson this morning. Good morning, Sammy.
Good morning, Roger. Good morning, everyone. Not a lot to report as Bradley fans and perhaps players and Coach Wardle wonder whether NIT officials will invite the Braves to participate in its annual basketball tournament. We hope they do. It's too early to end the basketball season on the hilltop. In a side note, my alma mater, Illinois Wesleyan, is on its way to the Sweet 16.
Oh, really?
In
Great.
Division III.
Okay. So it doesn't matter what division. If they're moving along,
Moving up,
where do they play next? And who do they
it
play?
doesn't
You know.
say here.
Well, what kind of alumni member are you? If you don't know that.
Not a good one.
Okay. Well, you mentioned them, so bravo.
Yeah. And my fellow Illinois Wesleyan graduate, Rick Simpkins, he formed the McQueen Street Band.
Oh, yeah, the West McQueen Street.
West McQueen Street Band, yeah. He and I played football together, and I go watch him once in a while, and he always acknowledges me when I walk in. And
Well, no wonder. Yeah, I wonder, when you said the name, I said, boy, that name sounds familiar. Why do I know that
he
name?
listens to you all the
Yeah.
time, he says.
Well, good for
So-
Rick. We need to get him on the air.
Well, I'll give you his number
All
someday.
right, please.
Okay. The season continues for the Bradley women. They play this Friday against Northern Iowa. Tip-off 2:30 at the Missouri Valley Tournament in Coralville, Iowa. During the regular season, the women split. You wrote slit.
Well, they did that too.
Did they split?
Yeah. They slit.
The women split with Northern Iowa, losing 73-70 in Cedar Falls, but winning at home 69-47. And in the Horizon League, Wright State advanced with a 103-90 win over Northern Kentucky. Not a lot of defense.
I was going to say a lot of offense, but no defense.
No defense
103
to 90.
It's amazing.
I mean, that's a lot of points total. Yeah. In Major League spring competition, Houston beat the Cardinals 10-3. The White Sox hammered the Rockies 12-3. The Cubs are 7-10 after losing Sunday to the Giants 9-5. The Giants are looking good with a record of 13 wins and only 3 losses. In a football note from the NFL, looks like Travis Kelce will be back with the Kansas City Chiefs for at least another season. Oh, those poor guys. They should just give them another $1 million and they'll stay on.
And they'll stay, yeah.
Poor guy.
And of course, being essentially married with Taylor Swift, I don't think he has to worry too much about revenue, does he?
No. He probably doesn't go out to bars by himself either.
No, probably not, no.
I don't think so. He doesn't need to.
All right, he'll be back with the Kansas City Chiefs for at least another season. Rumors are he and Taylor Swift will get married this June in Rhode Island. Whoopee. And I put an exclamation mark beside whoopee since it came from Roger, not me.
All right.
The big news is Super Bowl most valuable player running back Kenneth Walker has signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. The former Seattle runner inked a 3-year contract for $45 million. That's not enough. Give him more. Close to what Ed Hammond makes during Bradley women's basketball.
But not quite, but it's awful close.
And
well, I know.
You go ahead.
I was going to say, I know that bit of news caused elation because that kid is a heck of a runner, and the Chiefs will be even better. Yeah. And as you said, that's sports.
That is sports, yeah.
And we have a little bit of other news. Sullivan's in the Heights has announced it's closing, and it's an outstanding restaurant. Has been, but I must admit, I've never eaten there. Have either one of you ever eaten there?
Yeah, I've been there.
Isn't the food outstanding?
Yeah, it's good.
Well, the bottom line is they said it in so many words. If they don't have the business, there's no reason to stay open. And due to economic...
People don't go out as much.
You think so? I'll
don't.
tell you what. I drive by Texas Roadhouse, and
that's
that
packed.
place
It
is
is packed.
packed. And right next to it is Chili's, and it's packed. So I don't know what it is. And Texas Roadhouse does virtually no advertising, and I guess it doesn't need to
No.
if people are knocking the doors down.
But I'll tell you what, last week a friend took me out to the fish house. And Mom, Dad, and I used to
Is
go
that
there
the
a
one
lot.
on University?
right.
We used to go there all
love
the
that
time as
place.
well. Yeah.
Oh, I do too.
You don't even have to order off the menu. You can just get their bread
Yeah, they're
because
very- yeah.
it's warm and they.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what amazed me, I found the dish that Mom always used to get. And it was like
What'd
maybe
she get?
she got the halibut puffs.
That's the, well, I didn't get the puffs, but I got the halibut.
But she got the halibut puffs. And they used to be like maybe $15.99. $33.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
Oh my goodness.
And I kept looking at the prices on this menu and like, holy cow, it's just fish, you know? And then,
Well, it may be just fish, but it's expensive fish.
I mean, the mahi-mahi and the salmon and that, they're all $32 and up. And then on the back side, it had the drink menu. And there was a little section up near the top, and there might have been 9, 10 drink, and it was some kind, I can't remember the exact phrase, but something wine. $19 and $20 a glass.
Are you serious?
I looked at my friend and I said, there is no way, and you know what, I would ever pay $20 for a glass of wine.
Yeah,
A bottle maybe, but a glass, no.
yeah, that's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, and it was just
It drives you to drinking,
well,
but not there.
not there. I was just floored, because we used to go there for birthdays and just anniversaries. It was a
place to go
a
to.
good place to celebrate.
Do they still have? They used to have a special if you got there by
But
4
by
o'clock.
it was by 6.
By 6, okay.
Yep.
And the price was lower. And so we used to go there about
That's it.
5:45,
Yep.
and I usually got the halibut, which was absolutely delicious. And as you mentioned, the bread, outstanding. Everything was outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't eaten at a fish house since I can't remember the last time. But they must be doing quite well. They're still alive and well.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't. Of course, it was a Thursday night, and I guess a
Well, I
reservation.
would think prices would be even better on a Thursday versus a Friday or Saturday
Well,
night.
it wasn't packed. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, the
We-
transporting of fish from either coast is going to cost a lot
Yeah,
because of gas
yeah,
prices.
yeah.
Yes.
I was downtown at Jim's Steakhouse, and my secretary and I will go down there once in a while because we like their Alaskan king crab, and they're expensive. I mean, but they come, the size of a silver dollar in
A
circumference.
good size.
A really good size. And we went down there maybe a year ago or 6 months ago, and they wanted $150 per crab, and we both wanted to get crab, and we ended up, I don't know,
With a hamburger.
we had soup or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I said, "Are you telling me you're not going to sell any of that? Are you out? Just tell people you're out. You don't have to tell people we're going to charge you $150 per crab." And
What was the response?
she, no, we're not out, but what we got back there cost us a ton of money because gas prices had gone up so far.
It's like gold. Well, remember years ago, lobster, they wouldn't even put the price there. It'd be market price.
Yeah, they would put the. So you had to ask the server how much we talking about.
Let's negotiate. If it's market price, it's an open market. We'll give you.
I'll do some dishes.
Well, there's no question that they're almost pricing themselves out of the marketplace, and I think the higher end restaurants have to be struggling because there's just a certain income segment of the market that can afford to eat at those prices.
Well, even casual stuff and Panera's. I used to go there quite a bit, pick up a salad or the pick two and that, and even that's getting pricey.
Yeah.
And it's just like, holy cow.
Yeah, I know they used to put on and one Panera, is just a couple of blocks from here, and they had a soup and half sandwich, which was a bargain. The posters have gone, and I don't think they have specials anymore.
I think we should state that all restaurants in Peoria are reasonably charged, cooked very well,
Yes.
and please go out and buy dinner
Yes.
to help our economy.
Yeah, I agree. I
true.
agree. And it would help the economy if they were a little more economic, or economy special for that matter. Well, let's do a summary once again of our story to the following. 30 is our time, and we'll start with the news headlines with Terry Chamberlain, brought to you by Matt Wall, CPA and tax specialist with Gordon Stockman Wall. A little reminder is if you needed reminding, filing your tax returns just around the corner. The deadline is still April 15th. We need to get Matt Wall and then talk some more about tax time, and he's available 24/7 at 309-692-4030. With our headlines, here's Terry.
A fire yesterday morning at a duplex in rural Washington has left one person dead. Firefighters from Spring Bay were alerted shortly after 5 a.m. to the fire, arriving too late to save an occupant trapped inside the burning structure at 108 Spring Creek Terrace. Firefighters from Washington and Germantown Hills assisted in putting out the blaze. Cause not yet determined. Pekin Mayor Mary Burris won a lot of friends and supporters last night after she announced plans to construct a data center in the city have been canceled. Burris said the project would be an economic boost to the city with increased revenue and jobs, but too many people were opposed. The ongoing attacks by United States and Israeli military forces have left much of Tehran, Iran, with smoke-filled skies. Still no sign of surrender from the country's leadership as its new leader went into hiding. President Trump says Iran was planning to build a nuclear site protected by granite as part of an effort to reconstitute its weapons program. A quick rebound on Wall Street yesterday with the Dow up 239 points, closing at 47,740. Crude oil, after reaching $119 per barrel, dropped to $85. There are projections oil could close as low as $50 a barrel by the end of the week, contradicting a gas buddy official claiming just the opposite. Speaking of gas, Morton drivers were getting hosed by Casey's yesterday with a pump price of $3.59 a gallon, while Casey's in Tremont, 6 miles away, was selling the same gas 30 cents lower at $3.29. Around here in Peoria, it's $3.69 a gallon. There are stations in the Peoria area, though, with gas as low as $2.99.
We're still trying to find out where that is.
I'd like to know where that is.
Yeah.
For the record, Illinois gas averaging $3.52 a gallon, higher than the national average of $3.48. The average price for gas in Iowa is $3.17, and it's $2.98 in Missouri. And those are my headlines, Roger.
All right, and let's take a check of the weather. This is the time of the year some homeowners learn they have a roof that is leaking, and that means it's time to call Hines Roofing, the experts. Hines Roofing has been repairing and or replacing roofs in Central Illinois now for over 33 years. Count them, 33. For no obligation inspection of your roof, call Doug Hines at 309-672-0910. He is a U.S. veteran, by the way. Hines Roofing, quality work by quality people. Today, partly sunny and warm, a high of 76. Look for showers and thunderstorms after 5 this afternoon. More of the same tonight with a low 45. Tomorrow, the rain continues, as do the winds, gusting to 28 miles per hour. Falling afternoon temperatures reaching 43 degrees by 5 p.m. That's tomorrow. Skies clear tomorrow night. Overnight low of 29. Looking ahead to Thursday, clouds increasing and a high of 50. Chance for rain Thursday night, low 42. And Friday it'll be cloudy and 54. Saturday cloudy and 58. And right now our temperature is 60 degrees. There you have a look at the news and the weather at the bottom of the hour. we didn't tell you at the outset, but we have a couple of special guests this morning. Hardly can call Dr. Gene Sidler a guest, part of the staff, and he's going to talk about how do we change taking our pills when we skip ahead an hour? Do we stay on the same old time, or does it make any heck of a difference? We'll talk to Dr. Sidler about that and a couple of other medical subjects coming up. And Ram Ziembra, who's with SeniorNet, is going to join us at 7:30. And I'm looking forward to it because every time he comes, he came last year and talked about how he helps older Americans like me do a better job of getting on the internet or using your computer. And, I used to have, we have some wonderful sponsors, God bless them, otherwise we wouldn't be on the air. And I send out invoices. Well, I used to be able to print them, print the addresses on envelopes. I can't do it anymore. So this class that he has, and it's almost a one-on-one class, so, where you're not one of 81 people, and I think he says, well, we'll get the number from him. They work with 10 to 12 participants, and it's very reasonable. So Ron will join us as well. At any rate, I did want to ask this panel, we talked a little bit about yesterday, and certainly it's in the news, the mayor of Pekin, Mary Burris, took a lot of heat for supporting plans for a data center, and I still don't understand fully the objections. They say it will contaminate the water and ruin, I guess, the environment. I don't know. I don't quite understand what's going on. I know we had someone explain what a data center is.
No, Mike Tantino did an excellent job of explaining it.
Yes, and what is
2 weeks ago. It's a large warehouse-like building full of computers. And
computer operators.
no, that's just it. You might have 2 operating the whole building, and they just will make rounds making sure that there's no water dripping from all the cooling units or an electrical shortage or something like that. But no, you can have this huge building and have 2 employees and just making sure everything's running smoothly like it's supposed to be. And it's collecting data and storing data.
Primarily storing. I mean, I have an online account. It's my agency management system, and all the data is stored through a company called AMS. And when I had the fire 10 years ago, all I had to do was buy another computer and download all the information.
Well, if you had a fire, how did you download it?
Once I had to go out and buy, no, I went out and bought another computer.
Okay.
And then downloaded the information onto the hard drive of the new computer, and I was back in business just instantly.
Help me out, Sam. You said you had a fire which destroyed your computer.
And my whole building.
And your whole building, okay. And then you said you went and bought another computer and downloaded it. From what, if it was destroyed in the fire?
Because it was stored
off-site
in a data center.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're storing it for me, and all my information is uploaded instantaneously. All the software is on that data center, and I just log into it, and I was back in business, the next morning.
Yeah.
So,
following up what you said, there had to be more than 2 people that were going to be hired, because that was one of the things that the mayor indicated, was that there would be a hiring of employees. There has to be more than 2. Should they have 2 people cleaning up the building, at least, I'm sure?
Well, like Mike said, they'll be there to install the stuff and put it all together and that. And maybe they do some, I don't think they do any inputting. I think it's all automated now.
You just sit there and watch, and if there's a glitch in one of the files, then they'll go
catch it.
They'll back it up. And they back up all your information.
Yeah.
So,
you know what would be neat, because there are data centers elsewhere in the world, and probably somewhere in the state of Illinois, is for a news team, but don't look at from Peoria, that would go in and videotape, do filming, taping a data center so people could see what it looks like and what it does. And again, maybe explain the dangers or the lack of dangers. Did the protesters hyperventilate on this, or are they on the ball? I would have loved to have seen the mayor say, you know what, let's make sure we're not hearing just from the squeaking wheel. As you know, you can make a lot of stink with 10 to 20 people or 30 or 40 people, but how do everybody in Pekin or Tazewell County, maybe a advisory vote, and too late to get it on the ballot for March 17th coming up, but having a referendum, find out how everybody or most everybody feels.
I think they made their point. They came to the meetings, especially the people that live out
Yeah,
there
but-
and are going to
but-
be
but not
affected by
every-
it.
Yeah, but not everybody has the time to get up and go down to a meeting. Most people aren't motivated by it because, it doesn't affect me, so I don't care one way or the other. But we had a guy that was on the show, you may recall, a veteran, said, here's the name of a guy who's against it. And I even saw some signs in Tremont opposed to the data center, even though it was going to be in Pekin. So it did reach a lot of people. Terry, I just don't believe the people who, like, you have protesters about anything and everything in New York City. It's a city of millions of people. Do they represent the millions of people? I don't think so.
No, but we've got enough.
Well, you're right. They had enough people.
They had enough
to
people
make an
that came
impact.
out and
Yeah.
said, "This, we don't want this here," and she listened to them.
Yeah, and she did. You're right.
I can't imagine two people running a data center either, but they're constantly, when a company updates their software, let's say you sell stuff online, and there's always bugs in it. So you always have people working the bugs out, trying to improve the software because somebody over here wants to do the same thing, and it's competition. You gotta stay up with the Joneses, so to speak. And the computers that they have that are storing all the data are huge. I mean, you can't just have a hard drive that has 2 gigabytes. You got to have 1,000 gigabytes or 1,000,000 gigabytes of storage area, and it does take room and computers and yeah. I mean, I don't. When you look at the size of the building, you may only see 2 or 3 cars out front, but it's property that's being utilized. I mean,
Isn't one of the objections of as we alluded earlier, to the aqua filter or the aquifer water supply? Does it take a lot of water to operate a data center?
I don't think they want to see a drop of water in a data center. It would corrupt.
No, but they have to have some kind of cooling system because all those machines generate heat.
Yeah.
Like I know when I was at Century, this is back in the dark ages, but we had the computer room.
Yeah.
And it had the elevated floor, of course, because all the cables that were underneath, and it was glassed in the middle of the floor, and it was super cool in there because they had to keep it cool because of all the running equipment. Well, same thing when you've got a huge warehouse, you're going to have to keep the equipment cool or overheats, and then it shorts itself out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, having worked at Methodist Hospital for 25 years, but I didn't have to work there to have this experience. All of us have gone to, well, it used to be called the radiology department. Now it's called the imaging department, and it was always cold. Why was it cold? Because they had to keep the
Capacitors,
the diagnostic tools and equipment and so forth cool. And it was not unusual. I remember when I had a CT scan and rolled me into the room, and underneath or inside the donut hole.
the tube.
And and they said, "Are you comfortable?" I said, "No." Well, "Are you cold?" I said, "Are you? you work here?" And the tech said, "No, because we're on the go all the time." But I said, "Can you get me a blanket?" And they knew because they must have an oven. Because pretty soon she came back, threw that warm blanket on, and I said, "Oh, thank you. This feels absolutely wonderful." So they have an issue. as long as they have cooling units to keep the equipment cool.
Did they make you take your clothes off or what?
No. Well, a couple of
they
things.
put you in a
For
hospital
one
gown.
thing, you're in a gown that is about as insulated as.
I get that done every year, and I don't have to remove anything metal. That,
Yeah, you're right. Well, at any rate, the sum and total of what happened in Pekin, the data center will not be located in Pekin as a result of the protests and the arguments against it. And the mayor of Pekin, as we are reporting this morning, Mary Burris, has said we're dropping plans to accommodate
where are they
the
going to put
company.
it? Are they taking up space that people value more than?
Yeah,
Good question.
it was some kind of, not a preserve, but it was open space, and people were upset that there was going to be taking away the.
They would have complained whether it was a gas station or a Casey's or anything else on that land.
You might.
Kind of.
Well, that brings up, they made a big hullabaloo over this data center, but they looked the other way when they started developing these solar farms that just drive me up a wall when I see fields that used to produce corn and soybeans now filled with solar panels. And you go in any direction in the state of Illinois, and I'm sure in other states as well, you see these massive windmills that I think some point down the line, and I won't be alive to see it, they'll start saying this isn't a very good use of land, so we need to tear down these windmills because we have maybe nuclear energy as a source for energy and electricity, et cetera, and so forth. And where are they going to take all those windmills? The windmills of time.
I think the landowner makes quite a bit of money.
Oh,
leasing
you
out.
bet they do.
Yeah,
Yeah. And they don't do anything except sit there and listen to the hum of the windmills,
Right.
which would drive me up a wall. 60 degrees currently our temperature. Time now for our pet tip of the day.
Today's pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. Our pets are lots of fun to interact with, and I'm sure many of us think we know everything about our dogs, but did you know? Dalmatians are born spotless. At first pure white, their spots develop as they age. In Australia, England, and the U.S., Max wins as the most popular name for pooches. Other popular dog names are Jake, Buddy, Maggie, Molly, and Bear. Dogs only sweat from the bottoms of their feet. The only way they can discharge heat is by panting. The next time your dog is hot and panting, feel the pads of his feet. And of course, keep the water dish full of clean, cool water in warm weather. Did you know dogs have about 100 different facial expressions? Most of them made with their ears. Scientists have discovered that dogs can smell the presence of autism in children, and seizure-alert dogs can alert their owners up to 1 hour before the onset of an epileptic seizure. These have been some fun facts, but I also want to remind you that your dog needs to be walked and exercised regularly, fed twice a day, and given plenty of attention. So when you get home, give your dog the attention he so wants and deserves. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's pet tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at PeoriaPetCrematory.com.
Thank you, Louis Linder. A pet tip of the day, always a highlight of our 3-hour program, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9. You know, I was wondering, Sam Lillie is sitting in for our dear friend Mike Olson, who is rehabbing after his second knee replacement surgery. And you'd mentioned you went to Illinois Wesleyan. How'd you happen to choose Illinois Wesleyan over ISU or Bradley or the University of Illinois? What was the connection?
Well, originally they don't give scholarships out. I wasn't that good. But Knox College was recruiting me, and that was only like 20 miles away from home for me.
Yeah.
And then my sister went to Wesleyan before me, was a cheerleader and active in sports. And so whenever I'd go over there, a lot of the guys that were in college at the time would, tease me and, make friends with me. And I liked the campus more than I liked Knox College campus. And I also...
What was the difference? What's the difference between the two campi?
Well, for one thing, my grandfather went to Knox, my grandmother went to Knox, my dad went to Knox, my brother went to Knox, and my uncle
Carl
went to
Sandburg went to Knox?
Yeah. And I had enough. Knox College.
Knox College,
and it was so close to home, and I wanted to get away from home a little bit.
Sure, and they wanted you to get away from home.
Yeah, and then they came in and recruited me, and then when they
Wesleyan did?
Yeah.
For sports?
For football.
Well, really?
And
what position did you play in?
Quarterback. And
you were a quarterback.
And
wow.
Linebacker.
Good for
Avon's
you.
a small school, so
yeah.
you play about
you
anywhere
play
you wanted
both sides
to.
of the line.
Yeah. And then when I got over there and I played golf went golfing with the head coach. I was still a senior in high school, and I played on a golf course. What the name of it? I can't remember the name of it now.
Where was it? What city?
Highland Park in Bloomington. It's a
okay.
public course. And I shot a 74.
Ooh.
So then I get a letter from the golf coach wanting me to come to Wesleyan. And I'm lucky I did play golf because after I tore my ACL and never played again, I still had the golf game to enjoy. So, yeah, so I played golf and football. That's kind of you think of big bulky golfers or football players playing golf. And anyway, that's how I ended up
That's
there.
how you went. And you had indicated that your two friends, Rick Simpkins, a well-known musician, and Jack Sikma. Where was he from, and how they managed to get this guy that wound up as one of the great players in the NBA for the Seattle?
He played for St. Anne, and he
Is
was
that up by Chicago?
Yeah, like by Kankakee.
Okay.
And he was recruited by Illinois, Iowa, and one more. I can't think.
Big Ten schools, and he chose Illinois
Purdue.
Wesleyan.
Well, he knew that he wasn't going to get to play much his freshman year, and at Wesleyan he could play as a freshman because I don't think at that time.
And that's a great appeal.
Yeah.
Kids don't like to. Kids who are good athletes in high school don't want to sit on the bench.
They don't want to sit on the bench, and that was what he would have done at Illinois. And
So, on them.
yeah, and Coach Bridges,
Well-known Bridge.
Probably
what's his first name?
Denny.
Denny Bridge.
Yeah.
Well-known, highly acclaimed coach.
Yeah,
At Illinois Wesleyan.
very good coach. Not in a kind of a pain in the butt to play golf with, but anyway, we'll go beyond that.
Yeah.
And he saw Jack play. I don't know how many times Jack's senior year. He said he was at every tournament, and if he was available to go see Jack play, he'd go see him.
Yeah.
And they became really good friends, and still are really good friends. And
Where's Jack live in Seattle?
Yeah. So anyway, he had to hem-haw over, do I go to a Big Ten school? But he wasn't ready to go in his freshman year because he hadn't really put on a lot of muscle. He always says he was a 6'9". He eventually became 7 foot, but he was like 6'9".
Really? I didn't know he.
He went from like 6'3" his junior year to 6'9" his senior year,
What was he eating and drinking?
to 6'11" when he came to Wesleyan. So he was on a growth spurt, I guess.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Amazing. I think, was he noted for that fading jump shot?
Yeah, they call it they made a name out of it. They call it the Sigma move. Nobody'd ever really used it in the pros.
And now everybody's using it.
Well, in a what do I want to say? In a way, it's nothing like Jack has.
Well,
but,
of course not.
It's where you actually kind of pivot. If you get the ball on the inside on the baseline, most guys will just turn up and shoot with their strong hand.
Right.
Where Jack would step back and take a step like this, and he ended up this far away, like a foot and a half away from the defender, and he shot it from way back here that nobody could block it.
Yeah.
And if that guy went up to try to block it, he'd just put the ball on the floor and go around him
And shoot a layup.
and shoot a layup.
Yeah.
And a lot of the pros are using it. It doesn't look.
Well, Michael Jordan kind of made it famous too. He started doing that either before, after, or during.
Well, Jack would have been the first guy to ever step away.
Yeah,
from the
because
basket.
he was younger.
Well, a big man to step away from the basket. You think
You
that's
don't
kinda
see that
stupid.
very
Yeah.
often, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You kind of stayed in touch with him over the years as well,
yeah.
haven't you?
I see him.
Does he ever come back? I'm sure he makes donations to the college or university.
I'm sure he does. I don't know if.
I mean, he's loaded.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how loaded he is because right now Jack he had a contract I think that was like $3 million. Or
Today he would be making
about
$30
million.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause so he's done some real estate work and bought a golf course. A couple of guys.
Married and kids.
Yeah, and his oldest son played. He had 2 kids, and the oldest son played over in Europe and was an all-star over
Wow.
there. Yeah.
Did he go to college?
Yeah,
His son?
I think he went to Oregon. Yeah. So.
Well, Illinois Wesleyan, well known. Denny Bridges, a very popular and recognizable nationally coach for, gosh, how many years at Illinois Wesleyan?
30 or 40, but I like to say that I was the original artificial intelligence. I got through Wesleyan. I got through there without having the greatest grades, so I must have been the founder of artificial intelligence.
Well, what was your major? What'd you major in? Because you wound
Business
up?
and finance.
Yeah.
Business and finance.
Yeah. Is that something your dad encouraged you to?
No,
To
I could have
take-
been anything, I
yeah.
think.
You could be anything.
Yeah.
Okay. What, jack of all trades, master of none?
Yeah.
You certainly know insurance. How many clients do you have as a independent insurance agent?
Well, I've got at least 400.
I don't know how you do it.
25 of Medicare Advantage people, and I have, I don't know, probably 500 auto and home.
Yeah. I've known you for umpteen years because I remember meeting you when you had an office at Proctor Hospital. The
No,
Proctor
you
Professional
originally met
Building.
me out at a Santa Claus parade in Farmington because you were the
Oh,
MC.
that's
You were
right.
right out in front of my office.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Susie Platt of Spoon River said we'd like, and I don't know. I must have been nuts to agree to it.
Because you wanted to say, "Here comes Santa
Yeah.
Claus."
Yeah, yeah. And the reason I say that is because it was cold, and I
Oh, it was
had
cold.
to stand outside emceeing a show while I was shivering, even though I was dressed relatively warm, and I could go into one of the
Stores, yeah.
and get warm in between floats.
I
you
can't
might
remember
say.
now whether it was the year after that when it was really cold or the year before it, but one of those times it was so warm out. All my 3 secretaries had Hawaiian shirts on, and the year before we were snuggled up in stocking caps and
snowsuits
scarves
and-
and
Oh,
snowsuits.
I know it. I know it. It well, again, it's part of the Midwest, and we know what that means. If you don't like the weather,
Wait another
be
day.
patient.
Be
It'll
patient,
change. News, weather, sports coming up at the top of the hour, as we normally do each and every morning on Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WACU FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois, or as some people say, Illinois, and on YouTube as well. So happy you could join us. Stay tuned. Tuesday, everybody. It is the 10th of March, and we start with a check of the weather as we continue on Breakfast with Roger and Friends. And we'll take a look at the weather brought to you as a service of Morton Community Banks with over 50 branches across central and northwestern Illinois, offering a full range of personal and business banking services. Hometown banks, FDIC insured, so your deposits are safe and secure. Look for the clock tower, and you'll know they have time for you. Sam, what's the weather look like?
All right, here's the weather. I'm probably going to screw it up because I've never done the weather, but I'll try. Today, partly sunny and warm with a high of 76. Look for showers and thunderstorms after 5 this afternoon. More of the same tonight, low around 45. They're talking about the weather getting pretty serious this afternoon, but you wouldn't know it today if you walked out. Tomorrow, the rain continues, as do the winds, gusting to 28 miles per hour. Following afternoon, temperatures reach 43 degrees by 5 p.m. Skies clear tomorrow night with an overnight low of 29 degrees. Thursday, clouds increasing, high of 50. Chance for rain Thursday night, low of 42. Friday, cloudy and 54. Saturday, cloudy and 58. Currently at 60 degrees. And now the news.
And the news brought to you by Kyle Varno, providing personal and business insurance for auto, home, life, and health. Kyle works with multiple carriers to find the right price for the right policy for the right individual, families, and businesses. You can reach Kyle Varno at 309-682-0519. With our lead story, here's Terry.
A fire yesterday morning at a duplex in rural Washington has left one person dead. Firefighters from Spring Bay were alerted shortly after 5 a.m. to the fire, arriving too late to save an occupant trapped inside the burning structure at 108 Spring Creek Terrace. Firefighters from Washington and Germantown Hills assisted in putting out the blaze. Cause not yet determined.
Well, we've been talking about it this morning. Pekin Mayor Mary Burris won a lot of friends and supporters last night after she announced plans to construct a data center in the city have been canceled. Burris said the project would have been an economic boost to the city with increased revenue and jobs, but as it turns out, too many people were opposed.
The devastating attacks by United States and Israeli military forces have left much of Iran with smoke-filled skies. Still, no sign of surrender from the country's leadership as its new leader went into hiding. President Trump says Iran was planning to build a nuclear site protected by granite as part of an effort to reconstitute its weapons program.
In this country, Wall Street bounced back yesterday with the Dow up 239 points, closing at 47,740. Crude oil, after reaching $119 per barrel, dropped to only $85. There are projections oil could close as low as $50 a barrel by the end of the week. That contradicts a Gas Buddy official claiming just the opposite would happen. We'll see who's right.
Martin drivers were getting hosed by Casey's yesterday with a pump price of $3.59 a gallon, while Casey's in Tremont, just 6 miles away, was selling the same gas 30 cents lower at $3.29. There are stations in the Peoria area with gas as low as $2.99, so they say. For the record, Illinois gas averaging $3.52 a gallon, higher than the national average of $3.48. The average price for gas in Iowa is $3.17, and it's only $2.98 in Missouri. Has continued to roll at CBS News. The latest to leave the liberal network is veteran reporter Scott McFarland. The television news department has seen several high-profile liberal reporters getting pink slips. Shauna Thomas, executive producer of CBS Mornings, is gone after a meeting last week. CBS News producer Alicia Hasty is gone, along with 11 evening news staffers. Ratings for CBS Mornings have plummeted below 1.8 million daily viewers. The ratings certainly affect WMBD-TV, a local CBS affiliate in the Peoria market.
In other news, Peoria County Coroner Jamie Harwood reports the death at St. Francis Hospital of a 15-year-old baseball player from Chrisman, Illinois. The teenager was flown to Peoria after he was hit in the head by a baseball during high school practice last Friday. He was identified as Bentley Wolf, a sophomore at the Chrisman High School. And speaking of school news, Peoria Public School board members have approved a plan and agreement that would allow Peoria police access to their security cameras. Such views and information will help police identify the troublemakers. And a sad note, Ghostbusters actress Jennifer Runyon has died at the age of 65. Friends say she succumbed to a brief battle with cancer. No other details. But the two of you are familiar with Jennifer Runyon?
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember after seeing her in the TV, it was a sitcom, Charles in Charge, that starred Scott Baio, who was Chachi from Happy Days. But
Yeah. And, of course, our condolences. Now we get more news from WCBU this
From the
morning.
WCBU newsroom, I'm Colleen Holden. One person is dead following an apartment fire early this morning northwest of Washington. Crews from the Spring Bay Fire Protection District responded to a duplex on Spring Creek Terrace around 5:30. They found flames showing from windows on the south apartment. Teams from the Germantown Hills and Washington Fire Departments assisted in battling the blaze. The victim's identity has not been released by the Tazewell County Coroner's Office. This incident is currently under investigation by the State Fire Marshal and the Woodford County Fire Investigation Team. The average price of gas in Peoria is up more than 40 cents a gallon this week as the war in Iran impacts the global oil market. The fuel cost tracking website GasBuddy reports an average price of $3.47. That figure spiked nearly 9 cents in just the past day. Drivers are now paying almost 22 cents more per gallon than last year and 52 cents more than in February. Peoria's average is on par with the national average and about 7 cents below the statewide average in Illinois. GasBuddy head petroleum analyst Patrick DeHaan says prices could rise another 20 to 50 cents per gallon this week. The Bradley men's basketball team must wait to see if its season will continue after the second-seeded Braves were knocked out of the Missouri Valley Conference tournament in the semifinals. Bradley coach Brian Wardle says falling short of an NCAA tournament bid is always tough to take. He says whether or not they get picked for another postseason tournament is out of their hands.
I hope we can continue to play with this team because we keep getting better, and these guys are enjoying it right now. And so I hope we might have another opportunity for that.
The Braves fell to eventual Arch Madness champion Northern Iowa in Saturday's semifinals. Wardle says this year's young team grew a lot throughout the season, and he hopes they get an opportunity to keep playing. And Illinois lawmakers are looking to further regulate alternative retail energy suppliers. Capital News Illinois reports one proposal would tie the rates they can charge for energy to what utility companies can charge. Consumer advocates say retail suppliers can often be predatory in nature, locking consumers into prices that are much higher than what the utility charges. Another bill seeks to prohibit electric utilities from charging consumers for expenses related to utilities advertising, insurance, legal cost, and trade association dues. I'm Colleen Holden.
Well, boys and girls, going into the world of sports and standing by with what he has, Sam Lillie, sitting in for the rehabbing Mike Olson. What do you have this morning, Sammy?
I got the sports, Roger.
Okay.
What a coincidence.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Not a lot to report as Bradley fans and perhaps players and Coach Wardle wonder whether the NIT officials will invite the Braves to participate in its annual basketball tournament.
What do you think? You think they're going to get an invite or not?
No, I don't think they will.
I don't either. I think that it will probably go to Belmont that won the Valley during the regular season, and Bradley will say
what
They'll
year?
get snubbed once again.
Yeah.
What year did Bradley win the NIT?
Well, actually, they won it multiple times.
Have they?
1950, I believe. They lost to CCNY, City College of New York, in the NIT, and lost to the same team in the NCAA the same year.
Huh. Okay.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And Squeaky Malchory was a star on the All-American, and they showed the replay in Movie Tone News at the Madison Theater, and it showed that Squeaky got fouled when he went up for a basket, and they didn't call it, and the referee was from Springfield, Illinois. Ron Gibbs was his name, and he cheated. He cheated Bradley University. We wanted to beat him up.
You better get over it. That's been 70-some years ago now.
I know it. I never get over it.
The season continues for the Bradley women. The players they play this Friday against Northern Iowa. Tip-off at 2:30 at the Missouri Valley Tournament in Coralville, Iowa. I thought they always had that down in St. Louis. No, that's when they do the Illinois.
That's the men's tournament.
That's
in
the
St.
men's,
Louis.
Illinois, Missouri.
The women, they've kind of moved it around. You may be right. They may have played in St. Louis. Why they wound up in Coralville is beyond me, but that's where it is. Go women.
During the regular season, the women split with Northern Iowa, losing 73-70 in Cedar Falls, but winning at home 69-47. On the college basketball scoreboard, Gonzaga drilled Oregon State. What's your definition of drilled?
Hammered, slaughtered.
Slaughtered? Okay.
Yeah.
And in the Horizon League, Wright State advanced with a 103-90 win over Northern Kentucky. In Major League spring competition, Houston beat the Cardinals 10-3. The White Sox hammered the Rockies 12-3. The Cubs are 7-10 after losing Sunday to the Giants 9-5. The Giants are looking good with a record of 13 wins and only 3 losses, but you can't tell anything about the team with spring break. Not spring break, spring season or spring baseball. In a football note from the NFL, looks like Travis Kelce will be back with the Kansas City Chiefs for at least another season. Rumors are he and Taylor Swift will get married this June in Rhode Island. Whoopee, who cares? Big deal. Go away. The big news is Super Bowl most valuable player running back Kenneth Walker has signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. The former Seattle runner inked a 3-year contract for, $45 million? I never even heard of the guy. Close to what Ed Hammond makes during Bradley women's basketball. And that's sports, other than the fact that the Illinois Fighting Titans are going to the Sweet 16 in NCAA Division III.
Yeah, that's big news.
Yeah.
What's their overall record?
I have no idea.
Well, and that's sports.
And that's sports.
Yeah. Hey, I want to mention or ask a question of the panel. J.B. Pritzker actually has lost weight, but I don't think he looks as healthy. And maybe we're just used to seeing a chubby governor, but he looks haggard, to tell you the truth. Sometimes people, particularly, how old is the governor? And I'm not taking a shot at him. I just, if Chris Christie, he is and has been for years chubby, and sure, some of the late night, well, not many, some of the people on television, particularly the conservatives, have kind of made fun of Chris Christie, and certainly they've done the same with J.B. Pritzker.
Pritzker is 61.
61. Oh, he's a young guy. And I always thought he wore his weight quite well. You wouldn't call him fat, would you? Maybe heavy, but fat, would he be? I guess you would. Okay.
I'm a Republican. I'd call him fat, so. Turn anybody away, but.
Well, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
Why not? One of the big stories out of California is a large number of teachers plan to quit teaching due to morale. What's going on in the schools that the teachers would want to quit? Are they having problems like we are in Illinois in some school districts where the tail is wagging the dog in schools?
Don't know. Not having kids, I don't really follow education that much. Mm-hmm. And not my friends that were teachers have retired. I really don't pay much attention anymore.
You don't get feedback from.
Nope.
Well, something's going on. I mean, for teachers to say we're going to quit, and according to the news in California, the sheriff teachers say they plan to retire. In the next 10 years is between 40 and 50%, maybe averaging around 45%. They're going to quit after 10 years. Well, maybe they're close to retiring, so they make a mountain out of a molehill.
Probably.
Yeah. I have known, and we've, Terry Knapp used to be a regular guest on our show, past president of the Peoria Teachers Federation, and he frequently indicated that some teachers were not real happy with the lack of decorum and discipline in classrooms, particularly kick a kid out and the next day the kid is back in the same class after being admonished and slapped on the wrist. And they return to the classroom to create problems
More
for those
disruption.
who are there. Yeah, disruption and so forth. But I don't know. We haven't talked to a local teacher in, gosh, I don't know how long. Who was the last one? Terry Knapp? Was he? Well, John
Well,
Meisinger.
I mean, John Meisinger and Dave Poles and Mike Olson.
And Mike Olson, yeah. But they haven't been in the classroom for a number of years. Mike's been out of the classroom.
You mean they're not getting that 80% of their last 5-year average income?
That I don't know.
That's got a
I've
lot of
never-
people upset that
yeah.
they've
Have you ever
negotiated
thought about teaching
every day.
every day?
Yeah, teaching my
You do?
secretary how to
Yeah.
clean the bathroom.
No, don't say that. She might not be your secretary anymore. Obviously, you're in the education business because you have to help people understand what coverages they have and what coverages they don't have.
I never thought of myself as a teacher, but I do. Whenever I sit with somebody, I've got a big screen monitor, and I just turn it around to them, and then
It's already
I can see exactly what I'm talking about, and I can point out. Yeah.
You know, one of the questions that I want to ask you is deductibles. At what point do you urge them to accept or not accept deductibles? Because are most deductibles, do they start at $500?
Are you talking about auto insurance?
Well, whatever insurance.
Well-
There are deductibles for homeowners or deductibles for auto insurance as well. At what point is it economically feasible?
Well, you can't judge when it's economically feasible because you can't predict when they're going to have an accident.
Well, it's very economically feasible when you have an accident.
Yeah, I mean, you
But
got
if you don't have one, but anyway, let's take car insurance.
Okay.
What do you recommend for a deductible?
500 to 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's still you're whether you're saving enough to cover the difference from your current
That's the
deductible to
question.
the higher deductible. Are you willing to? You kind of got to look at your own. You know, how many miles a year you driving? What roads are you driving?
And what your age is?
Yeah, what your age is. Yeah, I mean, people at 70 call in and because their rate went up, and I said I thought my rates got cheaper as I got older. Well, they did until you hit 70 or 75, and then you're driving less miles, but you're driving more hazardously, I guess I'll say. But
You know, one of my arguments is that at my age, and as I think it started at age 90, I have to take a driver's test every year. And yet you have kids driving at 17 who have no idea what the heck they're doing. They don't make them take a driver's test every year, and I consider them a higher risk than myself. But
put a baseball glove on and go out and play catch with them and see how many you drop and how many they drop.
Well, I'm not playing baseball. I'm driving a car.
But your reaction time is a lot slower than what it was when you were 17.
Okay, that's true. But my reaction experience is more seasoned and experienced than a teenager. He may be quicker, but he may be quicker to make the wrong decision, whereas my driving experience allows me to be more reasonable and I think calculated and experienced in making the decision.
Every person I've ever had that backed into their garage door was over 70.
Well,
And the ones that mistake the gas pedal for the brake pedal and go forward and go
Over
through,
70.
go through.
that's true. Okay. And how many teenagers have been killed in car accidents versus elderly people?
It doesn't matter because we don't have to insure them after that.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Hey, since we're talking about old people, or senior citizens are better, Rob Zambra, did I pronounce that right? That's correct. That's right. Get a little closer to that wonderful microphone there, Ron, and I want to say good morning to you. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning, Roger.
Tell us, everybody, your credentials. You're with Senior Net.
Yes. I have a list of topics that I wanted to mention here, but I'd like you to interrupt with questions whenever you have any. Sure. Okay. What we do at Peoria Area Senior Net is we do technology training for seniors. What does that mean? We'll train them about computer usage, we'll train them about cell phone usage, and we'll train them about various other technology-related topics.
Can I ask you real quickly, interrupting you, since you said ask questions, what do you determine the age is for, quote, seniors?
We have a published age of 50, but if you walk in, nobody's going to ask you your age.
Particularly if you're a woman. How old are you, ma'am? Are you eligible to be here?
Well, if you look like a teenager, perhaps we'd ask, but other than that, no. we will
Okay,
not.
all right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but so we're talking about 50 plus.
50 plus, yes. We teach our classes at the First Baptist Church in Peoria. You wouldn't expect it, but the First Baptist Church has a computer lab with 12 computers, so it's an ideal place for us to teach. And in addition to that, in certain classes, you can bring your own laptop if you want, but there's an issue there that you have to have the right software on your laptop so that you can do what we're doing in that class. We have classes and seminars. What we mean by a seminar is it's going to meet only once. For certain subjects, you need to have multiple classes. For other things, like we'll have a seminar on fraud avoidance, that type of thing, we'll only need to have one on that. So it depends on the subject. And the number of classes will also depend on the subject matter. We may have from 3 to 6 classes on a particular topic. The classes and seminars meet for an hour and a half, and if we have multiple classes, it'll be an hour and a half, multiple weeks. Okay, so it's a week between classes if we have multiple classes.
Yeah, you mentioned the length of the classes depends on the subject matter. Does it also depend on the participants' ability to absorb the information?
That is an interesting question because you're really getting into our philosophy here. All of our instructors are seniors themselves, to us, meaning over 50. And
So that means they have more patience or less?
They definitely have more patience.
Okay, good. That's encouraging.
And they have an appreciation for what the students' needs are. And our philosophy is no student left behind. So we tend to...
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Heard that before.
I think George Bush had that as a theme line. Go ahead, Ron. I'm sorry.
But it's serious. We move at a slow enough pace so that everyone can keep up.
But, if it's anything like when I was in school, when they slowed down for somebody like me, you would hear the smarter kid maybe say, "Oh, do we have to wait for Roger?"
Again, seniors are more patient.
All right, good. I can hear him say, "Do we have to wait for Roger again?"
My cell phone told me that I had 70 potential viruses on it because I'll open everything and there's nobody watching out for it. So I said, it's time to scrap that phone. And I got this phone, and I need a class because they're putting all the icons in different places on my phone.
Yep.
And my ringer tone, if people call me and I'm in bed, my ringer tone must mute itself because I never hear it. And the other phone was just like the phone ringing, and I don't know how to change it.
Yeah, well, your problem is you're not recognizing the fact you don't hear it because you're getting older.
That could be. That could be.
Welcome to the club, pal.
Yeah.
Well, we also have separate classes for Apple and for Android phones because they are different enough.
Very
that
different, yeah.
It helps to do that. And one of the questions is, what's the cost of a class? We charge $3 for classes and $1 for seminars.
Boy, I tell you what.
You guys need an accountant.
Yeah. You're getting screwed, Ron.
The cost is to cover the class of materials because you're going to get written materials in every class that we take. Now, typically, when I'm teaching a class, we don't use the printed materials because I'm stepping the students through the exercise. But then they'll come back and say, that was so helpful because I could do it when I got home
Yeah.
using the printed materials.
Do you, by the way, do you assess grades like A, B, C, D, and F?
No, we don't.
Okay, good. Put me down.
And pass or fail.
Now, we have about 20 different classes, and as I say, they cover laptops, they cover PCs, they cover phones, and the classes also evolve. For example, 10 years ago, we were teaching digital camera classes. Digital cameras are pretty rare now.
Yeah.
Most people are taking pictures with their phones,
Right.
and so those are the classes that are more popular right now. And in all of our classes, we have teachers helpers, whom we call coaches. The coaches are there to assist the students with any issues that they may have. And we also encourage the students to help their neighbor if they're caught up and their neighbor is, they can see that the guy next to them is moving very slowly. But when either the coaches or the students help their neighbor, our philosophy is don't do it for them. Point to the thing they're supposed to be clicking on or point to the keyboard.
But don't do it for them.
But don't
That
do-
makes sense.
Yes, because they.
You're not learning then.
That's right. They're, in some cases, they just don't know where to click. Well, show them where to click, but don't click for them. And typically what the coaches will do is students can raise their hand and the coach will come over and assist them. But if the coach recognizes that the student is struggling, he or she may go over and offer some help to the student at that time without being asked.
Do you at any time for certain students hand out medication?
We do not.
Okay. No, I'm being funny. You took that very serious, Ron.
But we do have students who come in walkers, and occasionally we'll have one in a wheelchair.
Wow.
The first entrance to the First Baptist Church is ground level, so there's no stairs. There's reserved parking for disability right near the door, so it really is very
You're
convenient.
very accommodating, aren't you?
Yes, we are accommodating to
Yeah.
people with disabilities. Now, we only teach classes in spring and fall. We'll start our classes on the first Monday of April, and we'll start our fall classes on the Monday after Labor Day. And the reason for that is that we are catering to the snowbirds who don't get back from Florida or Arizona until perhaps the April time frame. And then we get our fall classes early enough so that they still have time to leave for Florida or Arizona or Texas or wherever they're going.
Yeah. Typically, how many enroll, and do you have different classes?
The enrollment is very, very different. For some of the computer classes now, we may get a half a dozen students. For some of the cell phone classes, we may get 20 students. And the cell phone classes, you must have an Apple iPhone if you're taking an Apple iPhone class.
That makes sense.
And you must have an Android phone. And then we will go over 12 if necessary. Because, again, everybody has their own piece of equipment and they can be mastering it in that class.
Do you ever reach a point where maybe the class is over and somebody has had difficulty, maybe didn't even catch up to everything? Say, do you want to say, Roger, do you want to stay a little later and we'll go over things with you?
Occasionally that will happen, but we also have open class time on Friday. We have no classes on Friday.
Oh, really?
So you can make arrangements with your instructor to come in on Friday and get extra help.
Oh, that's good. Boy, you've really bent over backwards, don't you, to help people. That's good.
We try to.
How'd you get interested in doing this, Ron?
My career was in computers at Caterpillar, and an existing member of SeniorNet talked me into it.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I've been doing this for, I think, 2004 when I got
Good
into
for
it.
you. Wow.
It's been a while. Yeah, I might be older than I look, Roger.
Well, I know this, what you're doing is a real community service, and you're to be commended for it.
Yes. And you know, especially with the cell phones now, there are certain things where they tell you to log on and do this. The ad will give you an address. You have to log on either with your phone or with your computer to get something done. So it really is becoming more and more important that the seniors have the skills to do these things.
You know, one of the hardest things I think for seniors is when they go to buy a computer. Maybe the first time, maybe the second time or whatever. Do you make a recommendation of one computer over another?
We will make recommendations about the capabilities of the computer, but we will not make recommendations about the brand.
Okay.
The student can choose.
That's interesting because I remember as an example in medicine when I worked at the hospital and I had to have surgery, I went down to the recovery department where I knew the nurses, and I said, I have to have gallbladder surgery, and who do you recommend? They said, well, we can't do that, Roger, but we can give you the names of 3 surgeons that specialize in, and here they are. Number 1 is number 2 is number 3, and I got the message. So I was wondering if you do that with computers.
Now, as I say, again, I don't think we ever specify a brand.
Okay.
But we say your.
Well, what's your favorite?
Pardon?
What is your favorite?
My preference?
Yes, your favorite.
Okay, I have a Lenovo because Lenovo is an offspring of IBM. And regardless of what you say, IBM did it better.
Okay. All right. I was just wondering what your preference was.
I've had Lenovo twice.
You have?
Yeah. They wear out after about, I don't know if the computers wear out, but the software wears out after about 7 or 8 years. And they got it built in, I think, so we have to go out and buy another one.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm just the opposite. I wear out before any of them. Okay, what else you have there, Ron?
Okay, I also wanted to mention that we do special classes at times that we don't have our regular classes in session. In other words, an organization can come to us and say, will you do a class for me? And one of the organizations that frequently come to us are the libraries. We've taught classes at the Chillicothe, Peoria Heights, Alpha Park, Washington, and even the large Peoria Public Library downtown. And again, we do these at times when we don't have our regular classes in session. Right now, we're working with the Peoria Public Library and with the Graceland Center
Oh, really? Okay.
to offer some classes for them.
Peggy Hawkes.
Peggy, right.
Yeah, sweetheart.
You know how to pronounce her last name.
Well, I worked on it for, we had a class, and I did quite well.
And another thing that I found interesting is, in addition, talking about these special classes, I have taught a class at the Southside Office of Concern a few years back.
Sure, I remember that.
When they had a welfare to work program.
That's right. Do you remember the sister's name that ran that?
Nope.
I don't either. But she was a sweetheart.
But anyway, teaching high school dropouts, which is what most of these gals were. I think they were all females. You do something twice and they know how to do it. And they've remembered it. With a senior, you may have to do something 6 times or 10 times.
You're getting personal now.
Yeah. But the thing is, they do learn how to do it. And that's
why they're there.
And that's why they're there. That's right.
We're talking to Ron Ziembra of Senior Net, and we'll continue. We're going to pause, if you don't mind, Ron, for our news headlines at the bottom of the hour to bring people up to date on stories we're following. And our news at the bottom of the hour brought to you by Bob Manning, Senior Vice President, Financial Advisor, is with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley. For all your investment needs, check out Bob Manning at 309-671-4653. Morgan Stanley, Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. Here's Terry.
A fire yesterday morning at a duplex in rural Washington has left one person dead. Firefighters from Spring Bay were alerted shortly after 5 a.m. to the fire, arriving too late to save an occupant trapped inside the burning structure at 108 Spring Creek Terrace. Firefighters from Washington and Germantown Hills assisted in putting out the blaze, cause not yet determined. Pekin Mayor Mary Burris won a lot of friends and supporters last night after she announced plans to construct a data center in the city have been canceled. Burris said the project would have been an economic boost to the city with increased revenue and jobs, but too many people were opposed. The ongoing attacks by United States and Israeli military forces have left much of Tehran, Iran, with smoke-filled skies. Still, no sign of surrender from the country's leadership as its new leader went into hiding. President Trump says Iran was planning to build a nuclear site protected by granite as part of an effort to reconstitute its weapons program. A quick rebound in Wall Street yesterday with a Dow at 239 points, closing at 47,740. Crude oil, after reaching $119 per barrel, dropped to $85 per barrel. There are projections oil could close as low as $50 a barrel by the end of the week, contradicting a gas buddy official claiming just the opposite. And speaking of gas, Morton drivers were getting hosed by Casey's yesterday with a pump price of $3.59 a gallon, while Casey's in Tremont, just 6 miles away, was selling the same gas 30 cents lower at $3.29. There are stations in the Peoria area with gas as low as $2.99. For the record, Illinois gas is averaging $3.52 a gallon, higher than the national average of $3.48.
I'm getting gas just hearing that story.
I'm getting indigestion. Is that the
Yes.
same?
Okay, yeah, well, it could be.
The average price for gas in Iowa is $3.17, and wow, Missouri is $2.98.
Yeah, let's move to Missouri.
And those are my headlines, Roger.
All right, now a check of the weather presented by Sam Lillie and Associates, providing a comprehensive range of insurance products, including personal auto, home, life, and medical coverage. Sam specializes in Medicare plans and options, something he's been doing during his, believe it or not, 40 years in the business. Sam knows insurance. You can reach Sam today at 309-245-4374. The number again, 245-4374. Weather-wise, we'll tell you today partly sunny and warm with a high of 76. Look for showers and thunder boomers after 5 this afternoon. More of the same tonight with a low around 45. Tomorrow the rain continues, as do the winds gusting to 28 miles per hour. Falling afternoon temperatures reaching 43 degrees by 5 p.m. Skies clear tomorrow night with an overnight low of 29. 29 degrees, that's below freezing. Thursday, clouds increasing, a high of 50 and a chance for rain Thursday night, low 42. Friday, cloudy and 54. Saturday, cloudy and 58. We actually have dropped a couple of degrees. We are now at 58. If you're just joining us, we're talking to Ram Ziembra. He is with Senior Net, and he's telling us about the availability of some classes to learn how to utilize computers and cell phones and what else? How about driving a car? No.
No, we don't do that.
You don't do that. So what else? Where did we leave off, Ron?
Well, I wanted to tell you about a couple of interesting experiences that I had in these classes. Well, perhaps one of the most interesting was one of the ladies had a stroke in one of my classes.
During the class?
During the class, she had a stroke.
Oh, my goodness.
We observed that she was mumbling, speaking strangely, called 911, got her into an ambulance, and they took her to the hospital. But we got her car keys, and we drove her car home for her.
Well, that is really wonderful.
And I don't think you'll find that at Bradley or ICC.
No, I don't think you will.
They're going to take the car home. And I mentioned that I had been teaching a class for high school dropouts at the Southside Office of Concern. And in one of the classes, I commented, oh, you're going to enjoy the next class. It's going to be a lot more fun than this one. The topic is more interesting. And one of the gals said, classes are all fun.
Well, that's a compliment to you and to your staff of instructors. How do you recruit your instructors?
Typically, it's word of mouth. You you come and you take classes, or someone tells you about the classes, and you start out as a coach. And as a coach, you see what is required to teach a class.
So you walk around and work with the participants to get a feel for
Get a
what,
feel.
yeah, okay.
And you get a feel for the topic, what's
Okay.
being presented in that class. And you learn that it's not as hard as I thought it might be.
Well, that's a good indication.
And we're always looking for new members. It helps for us to keep the membership coming along and getting younger members also.
Yeah. How do you recruit people for the classes? The price is reasonable, and obviously you have a history of success in working with seniors. How do you get the word out besides coming on programs like Breakfast with Roger and Friends?
Okay. First of all, for existing students, we send out a newsletter. We have our sign up for classes. We call it our open house coming up this Saturday. And it'll be at 10 to noon at the First Baptist Church again. And at that time, we present information about SeniorNet. We present our available classes, a list of our available classes and class descriptions, and students can then decide that they're going to sign up right there on the spot.
Ron, you might want to tell them where the First Baptist Church is. It's there on Lake Street, is it not?
Right. I believe it's 411.
It's between Sheridan and Knoxville. I've been
Between
into that church many times. It's a
Yep.
beautiful church.
Yes, I've been in it once or twice.
And we use the lab, which they call the media center. There's also a friendship hall, which we use for some events, and we've used the chapel for some of our events. We have a very good relationship with the church, and what we do for them is, first of all, we pay the internet bill because we're the ones who are using it most of the time. Plus, we keep the computers up to date. On our last computer, for example, that we probably had maybe 4 different operating systems on it. We kept changing as the operating systems, new operating systems came out. So essentially, we provide the computer and the internet maintenance for the church.
Do you test them? Is there a test at the end of the class?
No, there is no test.
You know why? Because retirees probably don't have parents to go home to and explain why they flunked the test.
And is it true that when they leave, you do pin a little note on their shirt and their blouse for their parents?
It's not true, but we do a survey at the end of the class, and we're looking for things that we need to do to improve the class or to make it more readily available for the students.
What do you do in a case where, and I know it happens, not everybody learns at the same rate, at the same level, or the same understanding and so forth. What do you do about maybe someone who says, I still don't feel comfortable? Do you wish them well, or do you say, well, here's my number? Maybe an instructor say, call me when you have difficulty and I'll walk you through it, or whatever the case may be. Or is that something going above and beyond what you want to achieve?
That is above and beyond what we want to receive. But remember, we do have the open sessions on Friday
Okay,
for
good
special
point.
help.
Yeah, that's good.
And we also tell students there's no shame in taking a class over again. If you didn't get enough out of it, take it
Ron,
again.
yes, there is. There's a lot of shame. No, I'm just kidding. You go ahead. I know you have some other information.
Well, I had one other testimonial that I wanted to talk about. Several years ago, Methodist Hospital had a program called Encore, if you remember
Yes,
that.
I do remember. And I remember the young lady, don't remember her name, who headed up that program.
I don't remember her name either, but
Well, thank you.
it changed while we were, I know there was a new member that came
Yeah.
along. But anyway, we were teaching beginners computer classes for the Encore program. And in one class, I had an old German lady who seemed to never be happy, okay? one of those, and I would use my high school German on her. And
Did you? Oh, really?
Guten Morgen and all
Guten
that.
Morgen and Wie geht es Ihnen? Wo gehen Sie?
that type of stuff.
Yes.
And anyway, as I said, she just never seemed happy. And at the end of the classes, we asked them to write a thank you letter to Methodist for offering this class, because it was costing Methodist some money to do that. And she really startled us. She wrote her letter and she said, I have taken your classes at Bradley and ICC, and they can't hold a candle to the
Wow.
senior net classes. And the reason, of course, is that we're set up for seniors, and Bradley and ICC are not. So
Wasn't that nice? Was her name Eva Braun by any chance?
her first name was Hildegard, and I
Hildegard. Oh, what a
don't
great
remember
German
her
name.
last name.
Yeah. Well, that's absolutely wonderful. You know, a tip of the hat to you and your instructors. How many instructors do you have?
Right now we have 5. But again, we have some who have retired and they're still active. They might be active as coaches, but they no longer want to teach classes.
You know, Ron, I'm not very good at math and adding, subtracting, and so forth. But when you're charging $3 and $1, you can't be making enough money to pay your utility bill, are you?
No, we do have sponsors.
Okay.
We have been sponsored by Illinois Eye Center for quite a while.
Well, good for them.
And this most recently, we've been sponsored by Amarin, and there's an organization called the Senior Care Network. We've gotten a grant from them also.
Gee, that's absolutely terrific. Well, again, remind everybody who are listening or have family members or anyone who might want to participate, how they go about getting registered.
That you, first of all, you can go to our website, which is www.peoriaareaseniornet.org. It's a long name, but it's who we are, okay? And on that website, you will have our newsletter, which we send out to existing students. And you can print off the newsletter, and there is an application or a registration form in there, which you can mail in and get registered for classes. In that newsletter, you will see the class schedule, and you will see the class descriptions. So if you can't make it to our session this next Saturday, you can always go to the website and get the material and learn almost as much as you would have learned if you came on Saturday.
Yeah. Do you have a home base? Do you have a storefront or a business office, or is everything pretty much operated out of the trunk of your car?
It's pretty much operated out of the trunk of our cars.
Okay, yeah.
But on our
That was
website,
good.
we do have a Watts line, and we do have an email address that you can contact us.
Okay. Any telephone numbers?
The telephone number of the 800 number is on the website.
Okay. Wonderful. Anything else you want to add, Rod?
I think I've covered what I needed
God bless
to.
you for what you and your associates are doing to help seniors become more attuned, shall we say, and accomplished in using computers and other technology. That's God bless you for what you're doing.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate
Ron, would you repeat the website again, please?
www.peoriaareaseniornet, all one word,
Okay.
.org.
.org.
Ron Zambra, thank you so much for coming in. God bless you.
And thank you for
Have a
having
great
me.
day. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. But every driver seeks the pinnacle of their achievements. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
A little reminder today, it'll be partly sunny and warm. We're going to get up to 76 degrees, but look out. Later on, after 5 this afternoon, showers with thunder boomers, and more of the same tonight. They are talking about possibility of hail, you say. And right now, our temperature at 58 degrees. Sam Lillie, who has been in the insurance industry now for over 40 years, we alluded to a little earlier about this window, and we keep seeing these commercials, particularly about Humana, I think is one of your favorite companies. And no, I know I was being facetious about signing up, but it's, you can't. When is the window? And it's not for everybody, right?
Well, everybody thinks that there's from October 15th to December 7th if they don't sign up for a Medicare Advantage plan, and also there's a difference between a Medicare supplement and a Medicare Advantage plan. The supplement just supplements what Medicare doesn't pay, and those are going to run, you know, $200 a month for a supplement plan, and then you got to buy a drug card. A Medicare Advantage plan is one where you can pay a very low premium, but then you'll have co-payments to make whenever you encounter health care. Well, after December 7th, an annual enrollment period stops, but starting January 1, if you have an Advantage plan and you forgot to look into it during the annual enrollment period, you still have 3 months starting January 1st through March 31st that you can look at other Medicare Advantage plans and change. As long as you already have one, then you can change from Aetna to Humana to United Healthcare to Blue Cross. I don't know that they sell any Advantage plans down here, but they pretty much have a monopoly on the under 65 market, so they don't need any more.
Yeah. But you primarily focus on Medicare seniors, do you not? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I've got about 400 Medicare Advantage clients, and another 200 or 300 with the other companies that I have within my office.
Do you have many who change year to year?
Not really. I mean, all the plans are pretty close to the same benefit. One company might charge you more for something, and then the next time something comes around, the other company. They're all pretty much actuarially equivalent. So I always look at service. I mean, how fast can I get a hold of somebody to give me the answer that you're asking me if I don't already know it? Yeah. And
you're kind of referee and coach for your clients, are you not? That you have somebody might be concerned that the dental plan or aspect didn't pay enough, and I've got this big bill to pay. Help me out on this, Sam.
Well, with the Inflation Reduction Act that went in effect January 1st of 2025, I got to remember what year we're in. Yeah, 2025. Cut back on a lot of coverages because the drug plan, you used to have 3 tiers of coverage. You had an initial tier where you paid a co-payment with every drug that you bought. Typically with a Medicare Advantage plan, your generics are free. Most generics are free. Yeah. But they changed things with the Inflation Reduction Act, because it used to be if you had to spend almost $6,000 if you were taking any type of name brand drug. You would have to pay almost $6,000 out of your pocket before you hit the 100% level, where all your drugs were covered, no copayment. Well, with the Inflation Reduction Act that went into effect, they put a $605 deductible on every name. It's not on every name brand drug. It's $600 per year. So if you're buying 2 name brand drugs, it's still all together. It's not 600, 600, and 600. It's just, and then after that, you got to pay 25% of the cost of the drug until you hit 2,000, and I think it's going up to 20. It's already at 2,100 a year, but it lowered the insurance company's risk from 6,000 down to 2,000, and I said that wrong. It put $4,000 back on the insurance company to pay. So all the plans got hit with higher co-payments for doctor's visits. They tried to recoup their money because the law put them in a bad position.
Through the co-pays.
Through co-pays.
Yeah.
And so if you're at that point, you want to look at other plans within the company you're with, or probably if you're feeling really frisky, you might want to call me, and I'll talk to you about it. But yeah, I've kind of specialized in this for the last, since 1998. And I've built up a pretty good book of business, and I always tell people, don't call the company, call me first, and I'll call.
And that makes sense, because you run interference for them.
Yeah.
Does it bother you when you see and hear commercials about use me and I'll save you money from insurance agents?
Well, for one thing, if you're getting phone calls about Medicare
That's
Advantage,
illegal.
when they first answer the phone, they say our records indicate that you're over 65. And I want to tell them, I'd be talking to a computer. How do you know that I'm over 65? What information did you steal to get my personal info?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of scam calls out there right now, and I'll guarantee you that if you buy a policy over the phone without meeting the person you're talking to,
You're nuts.
you're nuts. Yeah. That's a good.
What a risk. Well, for one thing, when you talk to someone on the phone, they might be in Puerto Rico, they might be in Bombay, or they might be in Creve Coeur. You don't know for sure who they are or where they are.
Yeah.
And yet you see the 1-800 number on television commercials all the time, and then they have a little disclaimer that indicates I am not an insurance agent.
Well, they can advertise on TV, they can advertise on radio, they can advertise by email or regular mail. They just cannot call you and waste your time and solicit you over the phone to buy.
But they do it.
But they do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how. I'd love to know who I could call right away.
Call Terry.
Yeah. I'd like to have the guy sitting across from me, have a guy come out, or a good-looking woman, sit right across from me while I'm sitting there all day answering the phone for these scam calls, and then immediately give her the phone and see if she can figure out who it is that's doing this.
Yeah,
But
I don't think that's possible.
it's not going to happen.
No, exactly.
Because I have people that think that the senior net is a class about fishing.
You're getting personal again. For that matter. Well, you've been at it for over 40 years,
Yeah.
and the number of clients that you have that you service is testimony of the service that you provide. And as you've indicated, going back years and years ago, how you got into the business, and obviously you didn't go to Illinois Wesleyan to become an insurance specialist.
No, it
but
was the last thing I wanted to be, because I wanted to break the continuity of my grandfather, my great-grandfather, my dad, my uncle, all were insurance agents.
Yeah.
And if my mom hadn't have died right when I graduated from college, I probably would have been off to the Navy. So.
Yeah, you did mention that you had an interest in the Navy. Well, it's never too late, or is it?
Well, I wanted to go in the Navy to fly.
Well, that's what I said. Well,
I wanted to copy my brother.
Yeah,
So.
your brother did go into the
Yeah,
Navy. Did he fly?
He flew the S-3, which was a submarine searcher, and
kidding.
and he at one time he had the record for the most carrier landings as a pilot and carrier landings as an instructor.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
That's pretty
if you added them
impressive.
all up, because most of the pilots, when they get towards the end of their flying the jet,
Their
they'll
career.
stay on for a year or two and train.
Yeah.
So-
Where is he now?
He's in Pennsylvania, near Allentown, Pennsylvania.
How do you want? There's no Navy there. How did he wind up there?
Well, he was in. I don't know if I can remember. He was
Well,
first,
get him on the phone.
when he retired. He was in San Diego, and
Which is the home of a huge
huge
naval
base.
Yeah.
Well, okay, he was flying for American, or he's flown for three. Well, the same. I think this airline. The first one got bought out. The second one got bought out. Who bought the first one? And then American ended up buying out. Not Texas Air. I can't think of the name
Was
of
it Pan American? Whatever happened to Pan American? Remember when they were the premier airline for international flights?
But he was flying out of Philadelphia and was flying back and forth to San Diego, and they finally moved everybody out to Philadelphia. But they
That's
didn't want to live in
interesting.
Philadelphia because it's not a very safe.
Yeah.
place.
Did he ever fly in combat?
No.
Okay.
He was at the very end of Vietnam, and his plane would drop sonar buoys out the back of the plane to track submarines.
Really?
And
Interesting.
The Vietnamese, I don't think, had a single submarine.
Well, that's because of what he was doing. They said, we're not going to do that.
So
That
he
guy's
spent
dropping
most of his time
buoys.
dropping sonar buoys
Yeah.
at random around trying to find something, and yeah, it was fun when he was in the business.
Well, we'll have to have an opportunity sometime to talk with your brother and his career.
He stutters.
I think you say you have to leave. You got
Yeah, I got.
to run and do
I
a
forgot
few
my
things.
glasses, and I got to
Yeah.
run home to
Well,
get them.
all right. Anyway, thanks so much, Sam. And thanks. Yeah, Ron. Yeah. News, weather, sports coming up next at the top of the hour on WACU FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois. Also on YouTube. Ron, I don't know if you knew, you're on worldwide YouTube on our program this morning. Say hello to the people in Great Britain. We'll be back. Don't go away. Happy Tuesday, everybody. It is the 10th day of March, and we start with a check of the weather. You know, this is the time of the year, and boy, with the forecast, is it ever. Some homeowners, unfortunately, learn they have a roof that leaks. That means it's time to call Heinz Roofing. They are the experts. Heinz Roofing has been repairing and or replacing roofs in central Illinois now for over 33 years. For a no-obligation inspection of your roof, call Doug Hines. He's a U.S. veteran at 309-672-0910. That's 682-0910. Hines Roofing, quality work by quality people. Weather-wise today, partly sunny and warm with a high of 76. Look for showers and thunderstorms after 5 this afternoon. More of the same tonight, some heavy at times, and we could get some hail. Low tonight around 45. Tomorrow the rain continues at due winds gusting to 28 miles per hour. Falling afternoon temperatures reaching 43 degrees by 5 p.m. Skies clear tomorrow night with an overnight low 29 degrees. That's cold. Thursday clouds increasing 50 the high on Thursday. Chance for rain Thursday night with a low 42. Looking ahead to Friday, cloudy 54. Saturday cloudy and 58. And we are at 58 degrees as we speak. Now with our lead story, here's Terry Chamberlain.
Well, a fire yesterday morning at a duplex in rural Washington has left one person dead. Firefighters from Spring Bay were alerted shortly after 5 a.m. to the fire, arriving too late to save an occupant trapped inside the burning structure at 108 Spring Creek Terrace. Firefighters from Washington and Germantown Hills assisted in putting out the blaze, cause not yet determined.
And Pekin Mayor Mary Burris won a lot of friends and supporters last night after she announced plans to construct a data center in the city were canceled. No plans anymore. It went down the tube. Burris said the project would have been an economic boost to the city with increased revenue, obviously the city badly needs, and more jobs. But as it turned out, too many people said, no, we don't like the idea, and the mayor said, okay.
The devastating attacks by United States and Israeli military forces have left much of Tehran with smoke-filled skies. Still, no sign of surrender from the country's leadership as its new leader went into hiding. President Trump says Iran was planning to build a nuclear site protected by granite as part of an effort to reconstitute its weapons program.
In this country, Wall Street bounced back yesterday with the Dow up 239 points, closing at 47,740. Crude oil, after reaching $119 per barrel, dropped to $85 a barrel. There are projections oil could close as low as $50 a barrel by the end of this week, we hope, and that contradicts a Gas Buddy official claiming just the opposite. Who's right? We'll find out by the end of the week.
Morton drivers were getting hosed by Casey's yesterday with a pump price of $3.59 a gallon, while Casey's in Tremont, just 6 miles away, was selling the same gas 30 cents lower at $3.29. There are stations in the Peoria area with gas as low as $2.99. I've heard that rumor.
Yeah, I've heard that rumor too. I think that's all it is.
For the record, Illinois gas is averaging $3.52 a gallon, higher than the national average of $3.48. The average price for gas in Iowa is $3.17, and it's $2.98 in Missouri. Has continued to roll at CBS News. The latest to leave the liberal network is veteran reporter Scott McFarland. The television news department has seen several high-profile liberal reporters getting pink slips. Shauna Thomas, executive producer of CBS Mornings, is gone after a meeting last week. CBS News producer Alicia Hasty is gone, along with 11 evening news staffers. Ratings for CBS Mornings have plummeted below 1.8 million daily viewers. The ratings certainly affect WMBD-TV, a local CBS affiliate in the Peoria market.
Peoria County Coroner Jamie Harwood reports the death at St. Francis Hospital of a 15-year-old baseball player from Chrisman, Illinois. The teenager was flown to Peoria after he was hit in the head by a baseball during high school baseball practice. Happened last Friday. I identified the youngster as Bentley Wolf, a sophomore at Chrisman High School. And, you know, having played baseball, I'm surprised that hasn't happened more often. These kids throw baseballs, hit baseballs, swing bats quite frequently, and it's a high-risk area for that matter. Speaking of school, Peoria Public School board members have agreed to allow Peoria Police access to their security cameras. Such access will help local police identify troublemakers during their investigations. And we end with a sad story. Ghostbuster actress Jennifer Runyon has died at the age of 65. Friends say she succumbed after a brief battle with cancer. You remember her somewhat. I don't,
different TV show.
Yeah. And 65 is just unfortunate. At any rate, more news now from WCBU with...
From the WCBU newsroom, I'm Colleen Holden. One person is dead following an apartment fire early this morning northwest of Washington. Crews from the Spring Bay Fire Protection District responded to a duplex on Spring Creek Terrace around 5:30. They found flames showing from windows on the south apartment. Teams from the Germantown Hills and Washington Fire Departments assisted in battling the blaze. The victim's identity has not been released by the Tazewell County Coroner's Office. This incident is currently under investigation by the State Fire Marshal and the Woodford County Fire Investigation Team. The average price of gas in Peoria is up more than 40 cents a gallon this week as the war in Iran impacts the global oil market. The fuel cost tracking website Gas Buddy reports an average price of $3.47. That figure spiked nearly 9 cents in just the past day. Drivers are now paying almost 22 cents more per gallon than last year and 52 cents more than in February. Peoria's average is on par with the national average and about 7 cents below the statewide average in Illinois. Gas Buddy head petroleum analyst Patrick DeHaan says prices could rise another 20 to 50 cents per gallon this week. The Bradley men's basketball team must wait to see if its season will continue after the second-seeded Braves were knocked out of the Missouri Valley Conference tournament in the semifinals. Bradley coach Brian Wardle says falling short of an NCAA tournament bid is always tough to take. He says whether or not they get picked for another postseason tournament is out of their hands.
I hope we can continue to play with this team because we keep getting better, and these guys are enjoying it right now, and so I hope we might have another opportunity for that.
The Braves fell to eventual Arch Madness champion Northern Iowa in Saturday's semifinals. Wardle says this year's young team grew a lot throughout the season, and he hopes they get an opportunity to keep playing. And Illinois lawmakers are looking to further regulate alternative retail energy suppliers. Capital News Illinois reports one proposal would tie the rates they can charge for energy to what utility companies can charge. Consumer advocates say retail suppliers can often be predatory in nature, locking consumers into prices that are much higher than what the utility charges. Another bill seeks to prohibit electric utilities from charging consumers for expenses related to utilities advertising, insurance, legal cost, and trade association dues. I'm Colleen Holden.
Okay, Colleen, thank you kindly. Time for sports. Yours truly, Roger Monroe, sitting in for our good friend Mike Olson. Mike, the last time I chatted with you, you were doing quite well. Keep up the good work. We miss you each and every Tuesday morning. Well, we miss you every day of the week, for that matter. Good morning, everyone. Not a lot to report as Bradley fans and perhaps players. And as you heard Coach Warder, wonder whether NIT officials will invite the Braves, the men's team, to participate in its annual basketball tournament. We hope they do. It's just too early to end the basketball college season on the Hilltop. However, the season continues for the Bradley women. They play this Friday against Northern Iowa. Tip-off 2:30 at the Missouri Valley Tournament in Coralville, Iowa. During the regular season, the women split with Northern Iowa, losing 73-70 in Cedar Falls, but winning at home on the Hilltop at the Coliseum, 69-47. Well, we have, what do we have? A couple of college basketball scores. Pretty narrow schedule last night. Gonzaga defeated Oregon State, and we didn't get the final score of that. We'll have to look it up. Can you look it up? See, Gonzaga and Oregon State. I don't see, apparently Sammy didn't look it over. And in the Horizon League, Wright State advanced with a 103-90 win over Northern Kentucky. Let's turn to baseball. Major League Spring Competition. Houston beat the Cardinals 10-3. The White Sox hammered the Rockies. We're going to talk to Dr. Gene Sidler shortly, so he'll be in a good mood because they beat Colorado 12-3. The Cubs are 7-10 after losing Sunday to the Giants 9-5. Giants, on the other hand, are looking pretty good with a record of 13 wins and only 3 losses. Let's turn to football. Looks like Travis Kelce will be back with the Kansas City Chiefs for at least another season. Rumors are he and Taylor Swift are going to get hooked up this June in Rhode Island. And, of course, we're all excited on the edge of our seat over that big news. The really big sports news is Super Bowl most valuable player and running back for Seattle, Kenneth Walker, has signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. The former Seattle runner inked a 3-year contract for $45 million, and that's not too shabby. And that's what we have. Did you ever find the score?
Yes, Gonzaga 65, Oregon State 56.
Really? That's got kind of a low score for Gonzaga. But at any rate, Gonzaga, one of the great winning programs. Well, we're going to talk to Dr. Gene Sidler in just a moment. But first, this message from the American Red Cross.
Every 2 seconds, somebody in America needs blood. You can help by donating blood at your local American Red Cross. Donating blood is easy. It only takes about an hour, and a single donation can help save more than one life. This is Alex O'Loughlin asking you to donate blood to help somebody in need. A friend, a neighbor, or somebody you haven't even met. Call your American Red Cross at 1-800-GIVE-LIFE or visit them at givelife.org. The need is constant. The gratification is instant. Give blood.
Think about everything that you save. You save gas, you save money, you save time. But have you ever thought about saving life? That's right, life. In just 1 hour, you could save up to 3 lives, giving 3 people more time with the ones they love. And isn't that the best thing to save? The need for blood is as universal as it is constant. Save life, give blood.
All right, boys and girls, this is our number 3 of Breakfast with Roger and Friends, and we kick this portion of our program off with a conversation with Dr. Gene Sidler, who's on the line. Good morning, Dr. Sidler.
Well, good morning, everyone.
Good to hear your healthy voice this morning. Wanted to talk a little bit about the time change, because
I thought you were calling me about the White Sox.
Well, we can talk about that if you want to.
No.
What is their overall record, by the way, during spring training?
They're 11-7 so far.
Whoa,
I think maybe
wow.
it's possible. Maybe yesterday they went to 12. No, 11-7.
11
had a big 11-run inning yesterday.
11 runs in one inning?
Yep. Yep.
Well, I'll tell you what, they must have gone through a number of pitchers. I remember, and it was near the end of my brother's career, and we'll talk about Zach in just a minute. And he was leading the Pacific Coast League with ERA, had the lowest ERA, and he was pitching for the San Diego Padres when they were part of the Pacific Coast League. And the manager, a jerk by the name of Hefner, brought him in relief, and he got shelled. And he left him in. They scored 10 runs off of him. Can you imagine a manager doing that to a pitcher?
Yeah.
And that ruined his
a little too
ERA
much.
and ruined his spirit. He was ready to quit, and he did at the end of the year, for that matter. So, scoring 11 runs, I assume the manager brought in a number of pitchers who also got shelled. But a number of pitchers is different than just one. At any rate, the Red Sox, or the White Sox, I'm sorry, are having a pretty good spring training, because at least they're on the winning side.
Yeah. I think they'll be a little better this year.
Cubs are struggling, on the other hand, and pitching is the name of the game.
Yeah, and it's possible they could be okay because the pitchers that they're mostly going with in spring training are the inexperienced young guys, and their veterans, I think, will come through a little better once the season is underway.
As a Cub fan, I hope so. Well, tell us about. I think some particular seniors, and the focus seems to be this morning on seniors, and for good reason. Sometimes get confused when there's a change in time zones. Okay, now, normally I take my pills at 9 o'clock, but 9 o'clock is now 10 o'clock. And so do I go with 9 o'clock, or do I go with 10 o'clock?
Well, and I have had a couple of patients ask me about that in my practice years, and I would always just say, stay with your routine. If you take them at 9 o'clock, still take them at 9 o'clock, even though that's technically 25 hours later than your last dose. It's not enough to be a significant difference in effect, I think, on the effects of those medicines. And trying to adjust for that time change is going to be more likely to cause confusion, or maybe even cause somebody to miss a dose and forget to take it altogether, than it is to maybe try to get back on the absolute 12-hour schedule or 24-hour schedule that you're trying to follow.
You know, when you're taking medicine, certain medicines have a period of time of coverage. Let's take as an example blood thinners. They,
Yes.
and I guess that varies the level of dosage, but a blood thinner like Eliquis, as an example, covers your system for 12 hours. Am I remembering correctly?
Yes, it gives pretty close to a 12-hour duration.
Does that mean at the end of 12 hours, kerplunk, you no longer have your blood thin?
No, it just means that its full therapeutic effect, the effect that you're trying to get from the medicine, starts to decline after 12 hours. And so if you are a few hours late in taking the next dose, you still should take it, because it's going to boost that, what we call the therapeutic level, back up by taking it. Yeah, so if you miss the dose at your regular time, and it's within 4 or 5 hours, maybe even 6 hours afterward, it's still better to take it. But if it goes much beyond that, if it actually gets closer to the time of the next dose, then you're probably best to hold off and wait and take the next dose. And just, you're going to end up with a little period of time there in between those doses where that therapeutic level dips down a little bit, but that may be better than taking 2 doses too close together that would maybe cause a bigger danger to you of internal bleeding or unwanted bleeding issues.
Yeah. Isn't it true that some people who are on blood thinners, when they're facing surgery, don't the doctor say, don't take your last dose or last 2 doses of a blood thinner?
Oh, always, yes. You always address those kinds of issues. There are some mild blood thinners, like aspirin is a mild blood thinner, and so if you're having surgery that may not be too deeply invasive, like just having a skin tumor removed or something not so serious, then we usually wouldn't even have them stop something like aspirin or a mild type of blood thinner. But yes, anything that's too much stronger in terms of blood thinning, you have to have them stop that a certain length of time. It depends on what medicine it is. You have them stop it a day or 2, or sometimes in the case of some blood thinners, you may have to stop it a week ahead. Something like Coumadin can have a long-lasting effect. That's the old type of blood thinner that isn't used quite so much anymore now that we have better ones in the last few years. But that one you would have to stop many days ahead, or you could have very serious bleeding complications, life-threatening bleeding complications.
Tell us a little bit about the what do they call them, stomach inhibitors or whatever, like Nexium. What is the breakdown time in the intestinal system between a capsule and a tablet? As an example, Nexium has been pushing. It seems like they really like the capsule over the tablet. What breaks down faster between the two?
They actually are pretty close to the same. They're designed and engineered and manufactured to break down very quickly once they get into the stomach. You can test that on your own by taking a glass of water and dropping a capsule into it. Those are what are called gel caps. They dissolve very quickly, probably within a minute or 2 in the presence of liquid. And tablets, pretty close to the same, and maybe even quicker in the stomach because of the acid environment in the stomach that can break the pills down even quicker. So yeah, they work very. The breakdown of the pill is very quick. The actual onset of the medicine, something like Nexium, it doesn't work by contact in the stomach. It works by being absorbed into the bloodstream. Goes through the liver and then on out into the body's blood flow, and then it circulates back to the glands in the stomach that secrete the acid, and it inhibits those glands and reduces stomach acid. It all works fairly quickly. Most people will notice symptom improvement within 15 minutes or 20 minutes at the most if they take Nexium, but it isn't working directly on the stomach like an antacid would work.
Is there any studies been conducted as which is more effective, Nexium or Prilosec, or maybe 1 or 2 of the other brands? Is there any difference at all? Have studies been conducted to determine who's number 1 and who's number 2?
Oh yes, those kind of studies have been done. Prilosec and Nexium are slightly different types of medicines in terms of how they work. They are similar, but slightly different. And the Nexium is going to be stronger. It has a more direct kind of pure action on the stomach acid manufacturing cells. And Prilosec works pretty well too. Those drugs like Prilosec came out a little bit before Nexium did, and they were a step better than the Tagamet and Zantac type of medicines. Those are called the H2 blockers. They block a different pathway that forms stomach acid or initiates the production of stomach acid. But yeah, those drugs all came along in the 1980s and early 90s, and they were a tremendous advantage. you may have known far enough back, Roger, people that had to have operations on their stomach to cut out the parts of the stomach that made stomach acid. And I had patients who had that kind of surgery back in the 1970s and early 80s, because that was the treatment for people with ulcers that were at risk for bleeding and did not respond to antacids or other treatments. Now that's a thing of the past. Nobody ever gets that kind of radical surgery done anymore because we have these much more highly effective medications. And speaking of advances during my time of practice, one of the big advantages was when I started in practice, there was no such thing as time-release types of medicines or long-acting type medicines. And so blood pressure patients would have to take a pill 3 or 4 times a day. That was hard to remember. I suppose if you had to do it long enough, you'd get into a routine and you get used to it, and you do it pretty consistently. But it was still a lot easier to miss a dose or have the effects of the medicine fluctuate up and down because of the time differences that you're taking them. And now you have almost exclusively once-a-day type blood pressure medicines, and very few medicines are required to be taken more than twice a day because of the improved technology of how pills work and deliver the drug to the body and so forth.
Yeah, I know a number of years ago, in the period of time you're talking about, the OTC, over-the-counter products for stomach disturbances and stomach acid were Zantac and Tagamet. And I remember Nexium, I think you had to have a prescription in the beginning, and it cost over $100 a month for that stuff.
Yes, all of those, Tagamet, Zantac, Protonix, and Prilosec and Nexium were all prescription initially, and they were all very, very expensive. And then as generics finally could be made and the FDA approved them over the counter once a long period of safety was proven, that made them available more widely to people who could benefit from them. And they are very safe medications.
Yeah. I know you watch television, so you've seen the commercials I'm going to refer to. There are 2 commercials that are a little unsettling. One is where you take a kit. I think they were calling it from the wellness a medical kit that had antibiotics like ivermectin, I think, and a host of
antibiotics.
Yeah. Is that really a safe and a wise decision, because you don't know exactly what you should be taking for whatever ails you? What's your response to that particular commercial?
Well, yeah, I've seen that. I've been seeing it for a while. It does make me wonder a little bit. I think in the hands of a more educated person who knows a little bit better about what they're doing and reads the instructions and so forth, I think you have to call a number. You have to actually get a prescription for that, because those are all prescription medications that are in that I don't know what do they call it, a first aid type medical kit. The Z-Pack and the amoxicillin and so forth are some of the antibiotics that are in that. And then it comes with a packet of instructions on what sort of symptoms constitute what diseases and then what medicine you should take for it. But I do have to think that there is a wide range of problems that could cause, people taking antibiotics for something that they don't need it for, or maybe having that thing sit around in a cabinet for 10 years and then taking medicines that are outdated. Those kind of things would concern me a little bit.
Yeah, I guess so. Then the other commercial that gets me is it lists the symptoms. If you're tired, if you have fatigue, and a few other things that we all have at one time or another during the day or during the week or whatever. You may be suffering from the after effects of COVID-19 or having taken the vaccine. So take this pill, and it's an antitoxin pill or whatever, and is almost like throwing a dart at a board with a list of medicines to take when no one has really sat down with you to hear firsthand and take your blood pressure and take your pulse, et cetera, and so forth. To me, that's dangerous as well.
I think so, but then that just fits with many advertisements on TV that make you think that you need something that they're selling you, and maybe you don't really need it. Yeah, I think one of those is like it's supposed to flush the spike protein out of your system or something like that. I'm not sure there's any real strong science behind that, but they're probably making a bundle of money off of people who believe everything they see on advertisements.
Is there a chance that in the near future you'll put on a white coat and come on television and hawk a vitamin or some kind of a tablet that make us feel better?
I need to get to work on that project,
Okay,
Roger.
all right.
Yeah.
All right, what we want you to do is get to work on our This Day in History, since you're on the line, and we have a March 10th, 1913 date in history, and someone very important died on this date, 1913. Who was it?
Was it a political figure?
Well, when you say political, that's kind of a broad term.
It wasn't a former president.
No. It was not an elected official.
Was it in the United States?
Yes.
Okay. Was it a celebrity, like a movie star?
No. It was a person.
Too many.
I'll narrow it down to you in the recognition of time constraints. It was someone deeply involved during the Civil War times.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Was it a Confederate general?
No, it was not a military figure.
Was it Clara Barton?
Although, what was the name?
Clara Barton? The nurse?
The nurse, no. This person did have a title of general, but was not in the military. And it's a female.
Was it the lady who started the Salvation Army?
No. And among other things, she was a scout, a spy, and a nurse. And was a laundress for the Union Army in South Carolina. After the Civil War, she settled in Auburn, New York, providing a home for orphans and the aged.
Is it Harriet Tubman?
Harriet Tubman is correct. She was born into slavery in 1820, died March 10th, 1913. As a young woman, the future abolitionist married who?
I don't know.
John Tubman.
Mr. Tubman.
Yeah.
Mr. Tubman, yeah.
Very good. A free black man. After she escaped from slavery before the Civil War, she worked tirelessly against the institution, starting with her niece Keziah and her husband and 2 children in 1850. Tubman led about 70 enslaved people to freedom by way of the Underground Railroad a secret network of organized safe houses. Tubman became known as the Moses of her people. The dedicated abolitionist John Brown called her General, and that's how she got that tab. Well, we didn't make yesterday, if you thought that was a tough one. March 9th, 2018, thousands of people marched against corruption in what part of the world? 40,000 people participated in an anti-government march in what country? Protesters organized the demonstration in response to the murder of a journalist, Jan Kuciak, and her fiancée, Martina Casanova.
Was it in Asia?
No, in Europe.
Was it Italy?
No. The country started with the letter S.
Spain?
No.
Serbia?
Close.
Slovakia?
Slovakia is correct.
Okay.
And now you know, officials claim the gathering was the biggest protest in Slovakia since the fall of communism in the late 1980s, which was known as the Velvet Revolution. Did you know that?
Nope.
No. Well, nice going, class. You successfully got the answer to 2 questions. Anything else medically you want to touch on? And before we let you go, what are the chances of Bradley being invited to the NIT?
Yeah, I think that is actually low.
I do too.
There's, of course, Northern Iowa will get the NCAA automatic bid. There will be no at-large bids for the Missouri Valley. You would think that Belmont should have a at-large bid because of their season, but they really didn't have a strong enough schedule. And from recent years, we know that the NCAA puts a great deal of value on that, so they probably won't get a bid. And then there's 3 or 4 teams ahead of Bradley in some of those metrics that they use even for the NIT. So it's I would say their chances are well below 50-50. It's probably maybe like even 10 or 20% chance. It is a chance, and it depends on how many teams turn down the invitation. So many teams nowadays won't even want to play in the NIT.
Yeah.
But Bradley would if they got an invitation, but I just don't think it's going to happen. We'll hope it does.
Yeah. The way that Bradley could get an invitation is its history and connection to the NIT. The question was asked earlier, how many times has Bradley gone to the NIT? How many times have they won the NIT? And do you have the answer to those questions? I didn't, and I don't.
I think they've been to the NIT. It's in the low teens, I think, 13, 14, 17. But they've won it 4 times. That much I can tell you is the case. Yeah, 57, 64, 67, and I think in 82.
And they were runner-up 2 years, I think, in a row, or at least runner-up to the NIT and NCAA against CCNY. And what, am I right on 1950? Was that the year?
50 and 54.
50 and 54.
Well, 50 was when they were runner-up in both of them. Bradley also was runner-up in the NCAA in 54.
And not 50. I thought it was 50, but...
50, they were runner-up to CCNY.
Right.
54, they were runner-up to LaSalle.
But
Tom
weren't
Gola,
they?
you remember him?
Yeah, but weren't they in 1950 runner-up to CCNY in both the NIT and the NCAA?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, in both tournaments.
You bet. All right. Anything else to add to the good of the conversation?
No. We'll have a couple topics we can talk about on Thursday, but nothing really pressing out now.
All right. As always, thanks, Dr. Gene Sidler. Appreciate it. We look forward to Thursday morning.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Bye,
Gene.
everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
There you have Dr. Gene Sidler. Always a pleasure talking with him. Let's get into the news. Then we're going to talk to Kyle Barlow. This morning brought to you by Spoon River Home Health, making a difference in the lives of their clients since 1993. They provide a comprehensive range of home health services, from skilled nursing to bathing and personal care. They do it all. Your choice matters at Spoon River Home Health, and you can reach them 24/7 at 309-245-0723. Here's Terry.
A fire yesterday morning at a duplex in rural Washington has left one person dead. Firefighters from Spring Bay were alerted shortly after 5 a.m. to the fire, arriving too late to save an occupant trapped inside the burning structure at 108 Spring Creek Terrace. Firefighters from Washington and Germantown Hills assisted in putting out the blaze. Cause not yet determined. Pekin Mayor Mary Burris won a lot of friends and supporters last night after she announced plans to construct a data center in the city have been canceled. Burris said the project would have been an economic boost to the city with increased revenue and jobs, but too many people were opposed. The ongoing attacks by United States and Israeli military forces have left much of Tehran with smoke-filled skies. Still no sign of surrender from the country's leadership, as its new leader went into hiding. President Trump says Iran was planning to build a nuclear site protected by granite as part of an effort to reconstitute its weapons program. A quick rebound in Wall Street yesterday, with the Dow up 239 points, closing at 47,740. Crude oil, after reaching $119 per barrel, dropped to $85 a barrel. There are projections oil could close as low as $50 a barrel by the end of the week, contradicting a Gas Buddy official claiming just the opposite. And speaking of oil and gas, Morton drivers were getting hosed by Casey's yesterday with a pump price of $3.59 a gallon, while Casey's in Tremont, just 6 miles away, was selling the same gas 30 cents lower at $3.29. There are stations in the Peoria area with gas as low as $2.99, so the rumor goes. For the record, Illinois gas is averaging $3.52 a gallon, higher than the national average of $3.48. The average price for gas in Iowa is $3.17 a gallon, and it's $2.98 in Missouri. And those are the headlines, Roger.
All right. Hey, let's go looking for homes. I'm thinking about moving. This is a good time to do it. The weather is nice, and it's a good time to call our good friend Kathy Reynolds. She's available to help you make the decision to find another home and sell your home. And she's available with Home Smart, company, a fine company, and you can reach Kathy today, 309-696-2162, and she'll help you through the process. She knows the central Illinois area quite well, for that matter. Weather-wise, today partly sunny and warm with a high of 76. Look for showers and thunderstorms, but not until late this afternoon around 5:30. And we'll have more of the same showers and thunderbirds. We're going to get the complete skinny on the weather with a live report. We don't use recordings when it comes to weather outlooks. And he's about as live as you can get, as a matter of fact. Nobody's liver. Is there such a word, liver? I don't
Livelier.
think so. Livelier. That's better. Low tonight around 45. Tomorrow, the rain continues. So do winds gusting to 28 miles per hour tomorrow. Falling temperatures late tomorrow afternoon, reaching 43 degrees. Maybe again 5:30. Skies clear tomorrow night. Overnight low of 29. Thursday, clouds increasing, a high of 50. Chance for rain Thursday night, a low 42. Friday, cloudy and 54. Saturday, cloudy and 58. And right now, our temperature at 59 degrees. And there you have a look at the weather. And now here's our pet tip of the day.
Today's pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little-known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. Our pets are lots of fun to interact with, and I'm sure many of us think we know everything about our dogs. But did you know? Dalmatians are born spotless. At first pure white, their spots develop as they age. In Australia, England, and the U.S., Max wins as the most popular name for pooches. Other popular dog names are Jake, Buddy, Maggie, Molly, and Bear. Dogs only sweat from the bottoms of their feet. The only way they can discharge heat is by panting. The next time your dog is hot and panting, feel the pads of his feet. And of course, keep the water dish full of clean, cool water in warm weather. Did you know dogs have about 100 different facial expressions? Most of them made with their ears. Scientists have discovered that dogs can smell the presence of autism in children, and seizure-alert dogs can alert their owners up to 1 hour before the onset of an epileptic seizure. These have been some fun facts, but I also want to remind you that your dog needs to be walked and exercised regularly, fed twice a day, and given plenty of attention. So when you get home, give your dog the attention he so wants and deserves. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's Pet Tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Thank you, Louis Linder. Hot information. We have hot information about the weather. Mr. Weather's on the line, Kyle Varno. Good morning, Kyle.
Good morning, Roger and friends. How are we this gorgeous month?
Yeah, is this the calm before the storm?
It could be the calm before the storm. It might be an extended calm before the storm based off the latest models that have came in overnight. We'll have to wait and see what changes as far as the latest trends and where these initial wave of supercell storms really start to fire and where they set up is the big thing. I think the setup favors, those individual supercells, those semi-discrete rotating thunderstorms, which those really impressive mesoscale vortexes across across just north of our area. I know the target, the bullseye for the last 3 days has been directly over the Illinois River Valley and Peoria and down to, say, Quincy and Kirksville, Missouri, up to Chicago. But this morning's models are indicating the warm front might reach even further north of I-80. And if that's the case, so right along that frontal boundary, that baroclinic barrier, is where we'll see the greatest amount of instability, and that's where we'll see the initial storms fire. And based off this newest model, if that's the case, then we'll see the storms fire, say, between Route 17 and I-88. That's where we would see those initial supercells fire. And if that is the case, if that's what happens, then we won't see maybe storms in the Peoria area until after 8, 9 o'clock, because we'll miss out on the first wave. Those supercells will move from the southwest to the northeast, so they'll be moving further away from us. And as they get closer to Chicago, they'll encounter those cold northwest breezes off the lake, because the Lake Michigan is still roughly about 35, 38 degrees. So that's going to kill a lot of the energy as it gets closer to downtown Chicago and to the Wisconsin border. But with those storms initially forming to the north of us, that would put us in the clear till about 8:30, 9 o'clock tonight, when the next wave along the cold front itself, and we'll see the bow line of storms, the damaging winds, the hail, the heavy rain. We'll see that wave move in probably after 8:30, between 8:30 and 10:30, 11 o'clock tonight.
So the chances are pretty good we're going to get some nasty weather.
Oh, we're going to get nasty weather, but I think that the big talk this morning, and maybe the TV people aren't talking about it yet, but I'm certainly talking about it with you, is this danger zone, this super infrared zone of death is now looking like it might be north of us this afternoon and this evening.
Well, we hope so.
Well, we certainly do hope so.
Yeah.
In the world of insurance, we absolutely hope so.
Yeah,
now, if I'm Doug
bet.
Hines, I'm hoping for the hail so I can make some money.
Yeah. Well, what's the period of time we want to make sure our cars or vehicles are in a garage?
For us, I would say after 6:30, 7 o'clock tonight.
Okay.
But that's the thing. If those initial supercells fire further south, where the original area of development, we are looking the zone of interest. So the Illinois River Valley, the Peoria, Galesburg, Chillicothe, over to Bloomington, down to Lewiston, Quincy. If those storms do fire in our area, then you need to put the car in right away and anchor everything down, because the winds with these storms, the damaging winds, the outflow, the hail cores, and again, where these initial supercells do develop, tornadoes will drop very quickly, and so it'll be interesting to see what kind of tornado watch the SPC issues after about 3, 4 o'clock today. They might even issue the rare PDS tornado watch, which is potentially a dangerous situation. But right now, based off morning models, I think a PDS tornado watch is probably not likely. I think just a standard tornado watch would be issued. And we'll see where they set up at. So how many counties are involved, and that's what you want to look at. You want to look at the extent, the southern edge, the northern edge of the watch, and then that center part is where they think the greatest amount of atmospheric displacement is going to take place.
Kyle, can you identify where these tornado watchers or spotters, whatever they're called, do they have a specific location assignment when we have threatening weather like this, and where would they might be?
Yeah, no, so when I was a storm spotter, the storm team with the Weather Service in Lincoln, and then even in college, you look at the area of greatest instability, or where we'll see the biggest development of CAPE, so convective atmospheric potential energy. CAPE is the acronym for it. Right now, all indications would be along that warm front, that frontal boundary, that baroclinic barrier, is where you'll see greatest amounts of instability. So wherever that sets up, and I'll be watching it with a very close eye in the afternoon hours to see where that difference is in the temperatures, and then we can see where that barrier is based off surface observation and then the weather soundings. So we'll have weather balloons, special weather balloons launched from both Lincoln and Davenport and Romeoville this afternoon. They'll launch one about 12 o'clock, they'll launch one about 2 o'clock, and then 4 o'clock, and maybe another 6 o'clock if they can get it up before the storm moves in, or if there's no storm in the area. And we'll watch to see what kind of atmospheric response we're getting as that weather balloon goes up through 20, 30, 40,000 feet up in the atmosphere, to see how much of instability we're actually seeing in those areas. And then that information will be relayed to SPC in Norman, Oklahoma, and they'll make the decision, okay, here's where our watches are going to be, here's where we see development occurring. And then, again, these storms will be going southwest to northeast, the initial wave, so you'll want to track out from there. I do think Lake Michigan does ask as like a barrier, a baroclinic barrier. But if you see storms develop, say, in northeast Indiana or northwest Indiana, then, watch out southern Michigan again. It could be a repeat of what we saw last Friday with those tornadoes in Union City, Michigan. If we see those storms develop, in DeKalb County, in Ogle County, in northern Illinois, well, keep an eye on those storms, because they're going to be dropping tornadoes here very quickly. If we see those storms develop in Stark County, Putnam County, Marshall County, Bureau, or LaSalle, then we'll definitely visually see those supercells going up to the north of us. And those storms, are, again, wherever they develop this afternoon, I'd say after 4, 5, 6 o'clock, that's where your most damaging tornadoes are going to be. The second wave will be more of a damaging wind hail event, not a tornadic event.
What kind of telemetry do those balloons carry? What information do they transmit to the National Weather Bureau?
Well, they give us wind speed, they give us temperature, but the biggest indicator is barometric pressure. They tell us what the atmosphere is responding, how weak, how unstable the atmosphere is, and that barometric pressure is so vital, especially as it goes up through the mid-levels of the atmosphere, giving us what kind of response we're looking at, how unstable the atmosphere is, and how prone it is for CAPE, convective atmospheric potential energy, how much energy we have there. If it's either 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 kilojoules, then we have a very, very unstable and dynamic atmosphere that's a powder keg ready to go off.
Wow.
If it hasn't already.
Yeah. Back to my original question about location. Does the National Weather Bureau tell the tornado spotters where to go, where to set up to send information back, or to spot where they think the tornadoes might be headed?
If they're government sponsored, absolutely, they would. But no, most tornado chaser storm spotters are private. They do it for entertainment purposes, YouTube clicks, views like that. So there would be no relaying information more than what they would give a local government office or a local media station or something of that nature. They're not going to be, in one person's ear, direct group chat or something like that. Now, they can pull up a group chat because that's one of the cool things that Weather Service, both Romeoville and Lincoln and Davenport, they'll have group chats. Hey, here's what we're watching. Here's what we're looking at. But can they reach out directly and say, hey, tell me where I need to go? They would get no further information than what the National Weather Service would already relay to local media outlets.
They don't have any special equipment. They're just their eyeball, right?
Well, they're their eyeball, but some of the storm chasers vehicles, they do have anemometers, and they have barometers on the vehicles. Your more intense ones you see, like your Reed Timmers, and a few others. I know Reed Timmer will be in the area today. He's already made it clear on Sunday he'd be in central Illinois, and it'll be interesting to see where he sets up because he's very, very good at what he does. So if he's in Peoria at 2, 3 o'clock, watch out. Reed thinks it's going to happen here, but if he's up, say, Rockford, DeKalb, Rochelle, Mendota, then he sees something that the models were hinting at earlier today, which is that the storms will actually develop to the north of us along that I-80, I-88 corridor.
Tell us that guy. What's the guy's name? Tell us a little bit more about this person.
Yeah, his name's Reed Timmer. So he
Reed
had a program
Timmer
on Discovery. Reed Timmer, yeah.
And he chases tornadoes?
He chases tornadoes for a living. Yeah, he does very well. He gets a lot of YouTube clicks and views and lots of followers, and he's entertaining and engaging. And he is a meteorologist, which is comforting to know.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was dating for a while the ABC morning weather girl Ginger Z. They went to school together, and
they apparently had a whirlwind romance.
Yes, that's right, Roger. Bless your heart.
Yes, I know that. Well, you chased tornadoes for a while, did you not?
I did, yeah, until my wife said, hey, you have kids now.
I think so. You got a family to care for.
I'll tell her I have enough life insurance. I know I have enough life insurance. But she says,
well, she'd rather have you around than the life insurance. You're right. So, yeah. Well, as always, up to date right here on Breakfast with Roger and Friends. Mr. Weather, he knows what he's talking about, ladies and gentlemen, and follow his advice. Kyle Barnold, as always, thank you kindly, my friend.
You're welcome. Keep an eye on those skies later this evening, and quite a light show before the storms move in, I think after 8:30, 9 o'clock tonight. So.
You got it. Hey, thank you. Thank you kindly, my friend. Have a great day. Kyle Barnold on Breakfast with Roger and Friends. As we kind of wrap things up, and I do so with an invitation to join my family and our family for a memorial celebration of my brother, the late Zach Monroe. A memorial service that everybody's invited to attend. It's coming up Monday, 12 noon, March 23rd. And it'll be in downtown Peoria at my church, First United Methodist Church, 116 North Perry. And as many of you know, Zach, a graduate of Woodruff High School and Bradley University, went on to become a professional baseball player and a member of the pitching staff of the 1958 and 1959 New York Yankees. The Yankees in '58, of course, won it all with a World Series. And we invite you to join us as we remember my beloved brother, Zach. And hope to see you Monday, March 23rd. In the meantime, have a great day. Stay dry, stay warm, and we'll see you tomorrow with more of the same. In the meantime, remember, God loves you, and so do we. And thank you, Terry Chamberlain.
You're welcome.